stuff.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 1063. The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 1063.
Oh, it's a cannon shot! Go ahead and give him the goal of the league!
This is the Inter Miami pregame show, live from the ESPN West Palm studios. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Our Herons have a chance to be immortalized in MLS history coming up tonight. Welcome on in, folks, to your final Inter Miami pregame show here in 2025. We've made it. We did it. Cup final time for our Herons and Lionel Messi. But trophy and silverware on the line for this team coming up tonight. We are powered by our local South Florida Audi dealer. And folks, what does 268 horsepower sound like? Well, the Audi A5. That's exactly what it sounds like. With breathtaking acceleration, it commands attention, precision, and crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This powerful performance Audi A5 is the real deal, and you could test drive it at the 2025. You could test drive the 2025 Audi A5 at your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. Test drive that new A5 at your local South Florida Audi dealer. But our Herons got silverware on the line tonight, and I do have starting lineups, and nothing. There's one difference. There's one difference that I think a lot of us saw coming once he became healthy. But I'm going to call this a 4-3-3. I'm going to call this a 4-3-3. Ken Levica and I spoke before the game. Maybe he could set up as like a 4-1-3-2. But for the sake of explaining to you who is going to be in a lineup, I'm looking at a 4-3-3 for Inter Miami, and probably them using the lineup the same way they've done when they have outscored their last three opponents 13-1. That is correct. Inter Miami has a plus 12 goal differential their last three games. This is an Inter Miami team that has been scoring at an incredible clip for the last couple of games. But 4-3-3, Rocco Rios Novo in the net. So Rios Novo in net, no differences there. Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Maxi Falcone, and Ian Frey. That's the difference right there, Ian Frey. Marcelo Wagon has started at that right back position the last couple of games with Ian Frey battling a knock, but Frey healthy and available, and he's getting the start on that right-hand side today. Baltasar Rodriguez, Sergio Busquets, and Rodrigo de Paul will man the midfield. And then the three tackers up top, Matteo Silvetti, Lionel Messi, and Tadio Allende. We'll get to Allende in just a second because Matteo Silvetti is getting another start over one of the better strikers we've seen in world football the last 2 decades in Luis Suarez. And Silvetti has earned this right. Silvetti has played to the level of, an MLS champion the last couple of games, including this masterpiece.
Plays it off to Messi, turns to his right foot, top of the area, now finds Silvetti, goal! From the right of the penalty spot! Matteo Silvetti blasted it with a right foot, past Breeze! It's an assist for Messi! It's a goal for Silvetti! That duo for a second straight match, and it's 3 for the South Florida side. Inter Miami 3, New York City 1. What buildup!
Silvetti with a plethora of goals and assists throughout the MLS Cup playoffs. He has truly, in my opinion, been one of the main reasons why Inter Miami has been able to run teams off of the pitch, and he is featured again in the starting 11. For the sake of the argument, we're calling it a 4-3-3. Could turn into a 4-1-3-2. But it is Jordi Alba at left back, Noah Allen at left center back, Maxi Falcone at right center back, Ian Frey at right back. At left midfielder, you got Baltasar Rodriguez. At the centralized DM position, deep lying playmaker number 5, Sergio Busquets. And at right midfielder, Rodrigo de Paul. Your 3 attackers from left to right, Matteo Silvetti and Tadio Allende, and Lionel Messi playing striker. But how I've kind of seen this formation go, it's Messi with the ball in his foot, playing in Allende and playing in Silvetti. I talked to the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken Levica, who you just heard there on the highlight, and he gave me some interesting statistics for you folks today. So Allende has 8 goals. That is tied with the most in MLS history when it comes to a single player. He is one more away from breaking that record. It is Carlos Ruiz back in 2022. But Tadio Allende with 8 goals is 1 goal away from breaking the MLS record. And forgive me for thinking that Tadio Allende could actually get that record coming up today because he had a hat trick in last week's fixture in the Eastern Conference Finals against NYCFC. We'll hear all those highlights coming up a little later on in the pregame show. Once again, this is your Inter Miami pregame show. We're powered by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more to test drive that brand new Audi A5. We'll throw it to Ken Levitka, too. We'll hear both national anthems, the United States national anthem and the Canadian national anthem. Once again, keep in mind, folks, Vancouver, a team who I haven't really even brought up at this point because I've been waxing poetically so much about our Inter Miami Herons, but that is the task at hand coming up today as the Vancouver Whitecaps are in South Florida, and they have one of my favorite young United States men's national team players in Sebastian Berhalter, the son of Greg Berhalter, former United States men's national team coach and current Chicago Fire coach. But Berhalter, who has looked well in the couple of caps he was able to get within that United States men's national team during the CONCACAF Gold Cup, a couple of friendlies. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino, the gaffer, has given him the nod a couple of games, and he most recently scored in the last fixture for the United States men's national team versus Uruguayo. So Sebastian Berhalter, a player to look out for Vancouver coming up today. Let's get you the starting 11s for the Whitecaps. It is a 4-2-3-1. A 4-2-3-1 for the Whitecaps. And in goal for the Whitecaps is the Japanese goalkeeper Yohei Takaoka. So Takaoka getting the nod at keep today. From left to right, the back line, Laborda, Priso Mabungwe, Blackman, and Ocampo. In the midfield, you got Berhalter and Kubas. And then the attackers, it's looking like a 4-way attack with Ahmed, Mueller, Thomas Mueller. We'll get to Mueller in a second. Sabi, and the always dangerous Brian White, who's actually had a really good season this year. Pretty good on that goal and assist tally for Brian White, the 29-year-old United Statesman. But Thomas Mueller, man, I'll tell you what, Messi and Mueller have matched up together a plethora of times. If it's in the World Cup back in 2014 when Germany secured a win over Argentina in the final, back when Thomas Mueller was playing for Bayern Munich. Really, the pride of Bayern Munich was Thomas Mueller, and the pride of Barcelona was Lionel Messi. We saw these two face off in a couple of Champions League fixtures numerous times. So these are two players that know each other very well with Thomas Mueller and Lionel Messi. Mueller has played fantastic. The 36-year-old German has played fantastic since he has joined the Vancouver Whitecaps. In 10 started fixtures, he has 8 goals and 3 assists. He's appeared in 11 matches, but in 10 starts, he has 8 goals and 3 assists. And Thomas Mueller is getting the nod again tonight. Gosh, it really takes me back. It takes me back to my middle school days, my early high school days, man. Lionel Messi and Thomas Mueller on the pitch once again, and we should have an exciting Cup final coming up in South Florida. Listen, I try not to be so much of a homer for our Inter Miami Herons, but folks, truly with how the Herons have been playing, I don't know how you could stop this offense right now. Maybe Vancouver has the secret. Maybe their coach, Jasper Sorensen, maybe he has the secret to how to stop the on-fire Tadio Allende and the on-fire Lionel Messi. No, I mentioned Allende, who is tied with the most goals for a single player throughout an MLS Cup playoff run. But Lionel Messi has 6 goals in 5 fixtures. It's not, that's really good, too, folks, with a plethora of assists as well. And, he's going to win back-to-back MLS MVPs. This is truly a star-studded match coming up in South Florida. I think on the club side, and listen, on the club side, I really do think this is the biggest fixture in North American history. Obviously, we're going to have the World Cup coming up here in the summer. We're going to have games in South Florida, in Miami. But on the club side, I think this is the biggest match in the history of this side of the hemisphere when it comes to world football on the club side. And Inter Miami will look to grab their first ever MLS Cup coming up around 2:30. We're going to get you pitch side to Ken Levicka in just a little bit, but we're going to take our first time out of the pregame show. And folks, for Inter Miami, what a season. Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, and for all the for the incredible season that we will never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be your team today and always. Once again, Baptist Health, proud to be your team today and always. When we return, we'll hear a couple of those goal-scoring plays from the Eastern Conference Finals. I mentioned Tadeo Allende with the hat trick, 3 goals in the game. Matteo Silvetti with a brilliant performance as well. All that coming up next as we continue to break down the MLS Cup. Inter Miami versus Vancouver in Fort Lauderdale on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Touchdown! Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
Hey, it's Theo, and let's be real, moving sucks. Boxes, packing, all that stress, who's got time for it? That's why there's Safebound Moving and Storage. We handle everything. Whether you're moving local or long distance, we offer a headache-free experience, just the way moving should be. Get your free quote today at safeboundmoving.com, because every move should feel safe with Safebound.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Inter Miami, what a season! Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team, today and always.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Play resumes. Here's a feed into the area. Header! Oh my goodness! From just outside the 6-yard box, it's a Tadeo Allende masterpiece on a ball from Jordi Alba. That was all world. That was sensational. That was mind-blowing. And it's 2-0 Inter Miami out of nothing in the 22nd minute. Tadeo Allende cannot be stopped. A titan of the postseason. 7 goals in the playoffs for Tadeo Allende.
Allende would pick up his 8th in the playoffs later on in that game. Welcome on in, folks, to your final Inter Miami pregame show of 2025. The MLS Cup is upon us. Our Inter Miami Herons doing battle versus the Vancouver Whitecaps in Fort Lauderdale. It is a chance for our Herons to be immortalized in MLS history and to win their first MLS Cup as a franchise. And I mentioned that Allende, hot as a stove, 8 goals. Allende, 8 goals throughout the MLS Cup playoffs. That is tied for the most with Carlos Ruiz back in 2022. Does he have one more goal in him? And as a team, Inter Miami is 2 goals away from setting the playoff record. The LA Galaxy have the record with 18. Inter Miami is sitting there with 17. So if Inter Miami scores 2 goals coming up today, they will have the record. And forgive me for thinking that our Herons are going to be scoring a lot of goals, because that's what our Herons have been doing the last couple of fixtures. I mentioned that Inter Miami has been on an absolute terror, a goal-scoring terror their last 3 fixtures. Let's go back to their 3 fixtures ago to November 8th. They outscored Nashville 4-0. Back to November 23rd, the Eastern Conference semifinal. They outscored FC Cincinnati 4-0 in Cincinnati, by the way. And then Inter Miami, the most recent fixture, winning 5-1 against NYCFC. I mentioned that Tadeo Allende had a hat trick within the fixture. Let's take a listen to Allende getting the party started last weekend in the 14th minute with the first goal of the game.
A long ball forward on the end of it. This is Allende, fights in the box. Goal! Tadeo Allende on a long ball, fought off the defender, got his right foot into it, and Inter Miami strikes first in the Eastern Conference Final. 13 minutes in, Allende with the goal. 1-0, Inter Miami over New York City.
So a big-time play by a big-time player. Tadeo Allende opened up the scoring in the 14th minute. Let's take a listen to the brace that you heard heading into the break. Once again, voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken LaVicka, on the call with Allende's brace at the time in the 23rd minute against NYCFC.
He resumes. Here's a feed into the area. Header! Oh, my goodness! From just outside the 6-yard box, it's a Tadeo Allende masterpiece on a ball from Jordi Alba. That was all world. That was sensational. That was mind-blowing. And it's 2-0 Inter Miami out of nothing in the 22nd minute. Tadeo Allende cannot be stopped. A titan of the postseason. 7 goals in the playoffs for Tadeo Allende.
Allende has been brilliant. We've been mentioning all pregame show that he has a chance at history coming up today. Let's take a listen to Matteo Silvetti in the 62nd minute. At the time, the score was 2-1. Inter Miami took a 2-1 halftime lead into the break. Coach Mascherano, a couple of halftime adjustments, but one adjustment he did not make was pulling Allende off the pitch because he did this.
Plays it off to Messi, turns to his right foot, top of the area, now finds Silvetti, goal! From the right of the penalty spot! Matteo Silvetti blasted it with a right foot, past Breeze! It's an assist for Messi! It's a goal for Silvetti! That duo for a second straight match, and it's 3 for the South Florida side. Inter Miami 3, New York City 1. What buildup!
Matteo Silvetti within the MLS Cup playoffs, plethora of goals, plethora of assists, and it's proved that he should be the starter over one of the better strikers we'll see within the next 2 decades in Luis Suarez. Now, this party was officially over when Talasco Segovia in the 83rd minute made it 4-1.
Morales and Fernandez. Morales lobs it, left box, and Allende wiped that out. Messi chests the ball down, and look out, here they go. Segovia, 1v1, into the attacking half, right side of the pitch. Segovia has Alba in the middle channel. Segovia into the middle, back heel Alba. Oh, he delivered a beautiful ball to Segovia, and it's a worldie. Segovia slots it home. That was beautiful. That was magnificent. That was showtime. That was one for an art museum hanging on the wall. 4-1, Inter Miami. Inter Miami is going to the MLS Cup Final next Saturday in South Florida. The party is on in Fort Lauderdale.
Party is on, and it wasn't over. Even though that was the goal that sealed the deal, Tadeo Allende proved he is one of the most dominant players in MLS Cup playoff history.
Yannick Bright. Oh, what a ball through to Allende. Allende right to the penalty area. Allende into the box. Allende, the chip and the goal. It's a hat trick. Tadeo Allende. He's unstoppable. He's impenetrable. Tadeo Allende can do no wrong. It's another goal for Allende. He puts a bow on an absolutely dominant MLS Cup playoff. And he receives adoration and adulation from the Inter Miami faithful. 5-1 Inter Miami.
The Herons outscoring opponents 13-1 in the last 3 fixtures, and that fixture ended 5-1. Eastern Conference Finals, Inter Miami solidifying their spot today within the MLS Cup. Once again, this is your final Inter Miami pregame show of the 2025 season. We ran out of games because today is the day in the MLS Cup. Inter Miami has a chance to make history, to be immortalized in MLS Cup playoff history, and has a chance to win the MLS Cup trophy for the first time as a franchise. The pregame show is powered by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Test drive that brand new A5 today. What does 268 horsepower sound like? It sounds like the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration, it commands attention, precision, and is crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance, the Audi A5. Test drive the 2025 Audi A5 at your local South Florida Audi dealer today, or visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. We do have starting 11s. We got starting 11s for you guys right now. Our Inter Miami Herons are in what I'm calling a 4-3-3. Let's just say this. I had a conversation among the Jedi Council, which features myself and Ken Levicka. Him and I both think we could see this shaken out as a 4-1-3-2, but for the sake of giving you guys lineups, I'm going to call it a 4-3-3. Jordi Alba at left back, Noah Allen at left center back, Maxi Falcone at right center back, Ian Frey at right back. The only difference for Inter Miami starting 11 is Ian Frey at right back, starting for Marcelo Wagon. Cello was starting for the injured Frey. Frey is back and available, and he is in his usual spot at right back. In the midfield, Baltasar Rodriguez, Sergio Busquets, and Rodrigo de Paul. And the three attackers, Matteo Silvetti, Lionel Messi, and Tadio Allende. I've mentioned a couple of times that Matteo Silvetti has now started 3 straight games in place for Luis Suarez. He's got a plethora of goals and an assist under his belt. The young 19-year-old Argentinian really making a big impact within the MLS Cup playoffs for our Herons, and as well as Tadio Allende. Allende has 8 goals. 8 goals throughout the MLS Cup playoffs. That is tied for the most. By a single player in the history of the MLS Cup playoffs for a single Cup playoff run. Carlos Ruiz has 8 goals as well back in 2022. But if Allende scores tonight, he will be the lone record holder with 9. Inter Miami as a team, they are 2 goals away from setting the playoff team record. LA Galaxy last year set the record with 18. Inter Miami sitting with 17. They need 2 more goals to have that record as well. Will we see records broken today? Coming up around 2:45. It's a word from I'm hearing. We're probably going to get the ball rolling there around 2:40, 2:45. And we're going to be hearing from voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken LaVicka, in just a couple of minutes. But Alba, Allen, Falcone, Frey, Rodriguez, Busquets, DePaul, Silvetti, Messi, and Allende, Rocco Rios Novo in goal. For the Vancouver Whitecaps, Takaoka in goal. And then from left to right, the back line, they're running a 4-2-3-1 lineup. Laborda, Priso Mambungu, Blackman, and Ocampo is the back line. The 2 midfielders, Sebastian Berhalter and Kubas. Berhalter, one of my favorite young American MLS players. He has really made his mark on the United States men's national team. I think Coach Mascherano and company are going to be focusing in on the young Sebastian Berhalter, the 24-year-old American who has really been quality. And then I'm calling it 4 attackers up top. I know it's a 4-2-3-1, technically 3 kind of attacking players and a lone striker up top, but we're going to call it 4 attackers in Ahmad, Mueller, Sabi, and White. Obviously, Thomas Mueller, talked about him early on in the pregame show. Thomas Mueller, a Centurion for Bayern Munich, one of the best German players in the history of German football. 2014 World Cup winner when they beat Lionel Messi in Argentina. But Thomas Mueller is certainly a great player and has had 8 goals and 3 assists in 10 games started and 11 appearances. And then Brian White up top has been a surprise, a pleasant surprise for the Vancouver Whitecaps and a solid option for Vancouver when it comes to the striking position. Let's take a time out here on your Inter Miami Radio Network. And once again, folks, Inter Miami, what a season. Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, and every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, and for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team today and always. Once again, Baptist Health, we're proud to be on your team today and always. When we return, we'll continue to break down the MLS Cup with our Inter Miami Herons having a chance to make history by winning it for the first time and maybe immortalized in MLS history on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
Colin, have you checked out Vitacost Sport Certified Marketplace?
Vitacost? I love Vitacost!
Right? It's a full online sports marketplace. Over 500 performance products from trusted brands like Vega, Thorne, Vital Proteins, and Muscle Milk, all free from banned substances.
So no guessing, no label scrubbing, just clean fuel to train harder and recover smarter.
You got it. And don't forget, save 20% with code ESPN20 at sportcertified.com.
Fuel clean, train smarter. Try Sports Certified by Vitacost today.
Don't fumble your finances. Whether you're running a business or running plays, Jay Zolo and Associates keeps your books tight in your stress light. With nearly 30 years of experience, Jay Zolo is your go-to coach for QuickBooks, offering expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo and Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jayzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
Inter Miami. What a season! Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team, today and always.
Not all moves reflect your lifestyle. At Safebound Luxury, we provide white glove services tailored for high-end homes, fine art, and designer furnishings. Our expert team ensures every piece is packed, transported, and placed with precision and care. If you're relocating a residence that deserves more than a basic move, schedule your private consultation today at safeboundluxury.com to experience the difference. This isn't just a move. This is the art of moving.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Our final Inter Miami pregame show of the year on your Inter Miami radio network. It is Cup final time. Our Inter Miami Herons facing off against Vancouver in Fort Lauderdale. Let's go through the years. The last 5 years we'll go through of MLS champions. So back in 2024, last year, the LA Galaxy defeated the New York Red Bulls 2-1. In 2023, you had the Columbus Crew attaining victory over LAFC 2-1. So 2 LA teams represented within the MLS Cup the last 2 years. Obviously, that is not the case with Vancouver being here now. Vancouver beating San Diego in the Western Conference Final. 2022, another LA team. Make that 3 years from 2022 to 2024. LAFC defeating the Philadelphia Union in penalties. 2021, you had NYCFC defeating the Portland Timbers in penalties, and then the Columbus Crew in 2020 defeating the Seattle Sounders 3-0. So the Columbus Crew, since 2020, have 2 championships. It is the most out of a single team within the last 5 years. Obviously, and then slipping in there, NYCFC, LAFC, and the LA Galaxy. So that is throughout the years, the last couple of MLS Cup final winners. I mentioned that Inter Miami has a chance to make history tonight, obviously with winning their first ever MLS Cup trophy coming up a little later on. Hopefully, Inter Miami outscoring opponents 13-1 their last 3 fixtures. In my personal opinion, and there may be some homerism attached to this, but I think Inter Miami rolls. But our Herons have a chance to make history with their first ever cup, and also a chance to make history with 2 goals. If Inter Miami scores 2 goals, they will set the single season MLS playoff record for a team. So they have 17. LA Galaxy set the record last year with 18. If Inter Miami scores 2 more, they will have the record. If they score 1 more, they will be tied with the Galaxy. And then Tadeo Allende, as a player, 8 goals, is tied with Carlos Ruiz back in 2022. If he scores 1 more goal, he will have the record. He will be the lone record holder, and that is goals by a single player throughout an MLS Cup playoff run. So Inter Miami with a truly fantastic opportunity tonight to make history as a club, winning their first ever MLS Cup trophy and setting a couple of records along the way. Let's get you your starting 11s again. A 4-3-3 for Inter Miami. Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Maxi Falcone, Ian Frey. Ian Frey is the lone change you are seeing in the 11. Ian Frey as a right back, obviously it has been the household name there for the last couple of months. He was injured for the last couple of fixtures. Marcelo Weigant filled in for him, but he is back, available, and healthy, and he is ready to go coming up for the Herons today. In the midfield, Baltasar Rodriguez, Sergio Busquets, and Rodrigo de Paul. The 3 attackers up top, Matteo Silvetti, Lionel Messi, and Tadeo Allende. We've been mentioning Allende all pregame show long, and how can't we when he was this brilliant against NYCFC in the Eastern Conference Final.
Yannick Bright. Oh, what a ball through to Allende. Allende right to the penalty yard. Allende into the box. Allende, they chip in the goal. It's a hat trick. Tadeo Allende. He's unstoppable. He's impenetrable. Tadeo Allende can do no wrong. It's another goal for Allende. He puts a bow on an absolutely dominant MLS Cup playoff. And he receives adoration and adulation from the Inter Miami faithful. 5-1 Inter Miami.
Let's take a time out on your Inter Miami Radio Network. When we return, we'll hear national anthems. We'll hear from Ken LaVicka, and we're going to get the party started pitch side with Ken coming up next on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Here at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Ken LaVicka. It's the 2025 MLS Cup Final. We're about to have O Canada, the Canadian national anthem, and the American national anthem. Let's listen in.
O Canada, our
now the national anthem of the United States of America prior to Inter Miami and Vancouver for the MLS Cup Championship.
And now, please welcome Grammy Award-winning, genre-bending artist, Fouché, as she performs the national anthem of the United States of America.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We are getting closer to kickoff in Fort Lauderdale. After today's match, there will be a Major League Soccer champion, Inter Miami, Vancouver Whitecaps, and it's on the way. This is Inter Miami football.
Inter Miami, what a season! Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team, today and always.
Not all moves reflect your lifestyle. At Safebound Luxury, we provide white glove services tailored for high-end homes, fine art, and designer furnishings. Our expert team ensures every piece is packed, transported, and placed with precision and care. If you're relocating a residence that deserves more than a basic move, schedule your private consultation today at safeboundluxury.com to experience the difference. This isn't just a move. This is the art of moving.
On Sunday, December 21st, the Palm Beach Kennel Club invites you to be a part of something meaningful, the charity poker tournament for John Martin. Known to so many as J-Mart, it's a chance for our community to come together and show support. Registration begins at 11:30 a.m. with cards in the air at 12:30 inside the PBKC poker tournament area on the second floor. It's a $50 buy-in with $20 rebuys and add-ons during the first break. Half the proceeds go to the prize pool, and the other half goes directly to help with John's medical expenses and his family. Every entry, every donation, every show of support makes a real difference. Your participation helps lift up someone who has made an impact on so many people, and together we can create a moment J-Mart and his family will truly feel. Let's come together and show John Martin, J-Mart, how much he means to all of us. Sunday, December 21st at the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Get details at pbkennelclub.com.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch.
Oh, it's a cannon shot! Go ahead and give him the goal of the week!
Here's Ken LaVicka.
It is a historic day in South Florida. for both sides competing on this Saturday afternoon. It is their first in an MLS Cup final. Inter Miami, champions of the Eastern Conference, the Western Conference champions, Vancouver Whitecaps, and it is about to kick off here from Fort Lauderdale. We welcome you to Chase Stadium. Inter Miami and Vancouver about to get underway. Third meeting this season, all competitions between these two sides. And Inter Miami trying to find itself on the right foot after being swept both legs of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Alongside on-site engineer Oscar Gonzalez, I'm Ken Levica, Mike Rizzo back in the network studios in West Palm Beach. It is a privilege to give you the 2025 MLS Cup Final on ESPN 106.3, the ESPN South Florida app, as well as Apple TV Season Pass and worldwide on YouTube. Inter Miami in pink on this Saturday afternoon, head to toe, black lettering and numbering. Vancouver, white tops, blue slash across the chest. We are underway here in Fort Lauderdale, the 2025 MLS Cup Final, as Drew Fisher blows his whistle and we proceed. First half kickoff presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami. Inter Miami in the attack, left to right in this opening 45. Vancouver, the opposite direction, right to left. In the regular year, Inter Miami, 19 victories, 7 defeats, 8 draws, 65 points. Second in the East, one back of the Supporters' Shield. Vancouver, 18 triumphs, 9 losses, and 7 draws, 63 points. Second in the Western Conference, and these two clubs met in the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Leg 1 in Vancouver, 2-0, Whitecaps. And it was a return leg, April the 30th here in South Florida. Didn't go much better for Lionel Messi and company. A 3-1 defeat and a foul against Vancouver in the Vancouver attacking half right side of the pitch. Vancouver would go on to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, blasted by Cruz Azul 5-0 in Mexico. We are 90 seconds into this match, and Maxi Falcone is first touch of the day for Inter Miami, the right center back. Inter Miami into the right attacking half. It was Jordi Alba not able to hook up with Baltasar Rodriguez, defensive side to attacking side. And here is Vancouver in their white shirts, blue lettering, numbering, and trim. And it's fed back to the Vancouver veteran goalkeeper, Yohei Takaoka. Fourth in Major League Soccer, 1.12 goals allowed in 2025. The native of Japan. And he is looking on as Inter Miami is trying to press Vancouver. Now a long ball into the attacking half. The chase is on as Alba is able to successfully push it on to Rocco Rios Novo, the Inter Miami goalkeeper. Trying to take a dive while he was on the run was Emmanuel Sabi. Drew Fisher not impressed. And Inter Miami facing a Vancouver high press. As Rocco Rios Novo, top board over 6-yard box, gets rid of it to Noah Allen. He'll float a ball defensive midfield, handled well by Allende, and now pushed on to Rodriguez. Into the right attacking third, Rodriguez left flank. He is finally countered defensively by Sebastian Berhalter, the U.S. men's national team man, and Inter Miami retains possession along the far touchline into the attacking half. And here's Jordi Alba. He clubs the ball into the middle. Messi got a hand on it, or got a head on it. Now, here is Tadeo Allende. Unleashes a shot upper right of the box and put it just over the crossbar of Yohei Takaoka. Allende, who has been in such phenomenal form. 8 goals in the MLS Cup playoff. He is confident, and he showed it there. He did not miss by much on a blast, an absolute missile that sailed about 6 inches over the crossbar from a tricky angle of Yohei Takaoka. It was Matias Laborda who was able to, at the last moment, push Allende a bit to his right and send that off balance and out of play. And here is the kick from Yohei Takaoka to get us back underway, and he simply just blasted across the near left touchline and out of play, just giving up possession. And Inter Miami throws it in its attacking third. Falcone is going to curl a ball onto Rocco Rios Novo, and he sprays one to the left of his own box for Allen. Allen into the defensive midfield and cut down from behind is Inter Miami. It's a foul, and that is Matteo Silvetti, who took big contact from Tristan Blackman, the right center back. And Inter Miami will have a free kick from their own half. Vancouver in the regular year, 66 goals in their favor, 38 against. Inter Miami, of course, the top goal-scoring team in Major League Soccer with 81. Did concede 55 times. Only 4 concessions, though, in this MLS Cup playoff run. Sergio Busquets with a bad ball to the far side across the touchline. He thought Jordi Alba was going to retreat from the attacking half to the midfield stripe, and it's thrown in by Vancouver. Priso sends it back to Blackman just outside his own area, the upper left, and it is sent back on to Yohei Takaoka. Takaoka, 10 saves, 4 goals allowed in this MLS Cup playoff. Vancouver needed only 2 games in the first round to sweep Dallas, while Inter Miami needed all 3 to take down Nashville. Square ball from defensive half to far side for Vancouver. Chesting it down on that far side is Sabi. Sabi give it to Ocampo. Now Vancouver on the surge, right of the box. Now outside the upper right, here is Berhalter. Berhalter now to the right of the box. Here's a low cross into the middle, and it's cleared away by Inter Miami. Lurking was Thomas Müller, the German legend, and his shot was blocked by Noah Allen. Another delivery into the box, and Rocco Rios Novo a double punch. And then Tadeo Allende with a handball. That ball took a weird hop into his forearm about 30 yards out, and Vancouver's going to have a free kick. 0-0. Nearly 6 minutes gone here at Shea Stadium in this MLS Cup final for Lionel Messi. It is his 43rd final, trying to claim the 47th trophy of his illustrious career. This will be a free kick from just over 30 yards. Sebastian Berhalter, U.S. men's national team, looks favorable for him to make the 2026 World Cup side. Coached by Mauricio Pochettino, who is in attendance here today in South Florida. Rocco Rios Novo stands in front of his goal. A collection of players, straight line at the top of the box. Berhalter stands over it. There is a whistle from Drew Fisher. And now Berhalter will lob a ball to the far post, and Rios Novo able to grab it out of midair in the right portion of his 6-yard box, and a quick bowling distribution to Rodrigo de Paul near side, and Inter Miami trying to get it out of its own half. One touch past Messi. Now Ian Frey turns. Will send it backwards to DePaul. DePaul into the middle channel defensive half, and there is Noah Allen. And a quick distribution, far left touchline, Jordi Alba. On a Baltasar Rodriguez, just to the attacking side of the midfield stripe. Loose ball chases on. Well done by Noah Allen to gain possession. And will roll it back to his own penalty arc for yellow-clad Rocco Rios Novo, the 24-year-old goalkeeper. And Ian Frey will earn his team a throw-in near right touchline after putting a ball off of Andres Cubas, who gave Lionel Messi all sorts of fits in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. The only goal for Inter Miami in the 2 legs against Vancouver, courtesy of Jordi Alba, 8 minutes in, leg number 2. But then it was Brian White, Pedro Vite, Sebastian Berhalter with the goals. Here's Inter Miami coming forward. Tadeo Allende, here he comes, upper right of the box. Allende tried to send it to the middle. It's an own goal. It's an own goal for Vancouver. They knock it in to their own net as Allende tried to feed the middle. Ralph Priso put it into his own goal. 7 minutes in, Inter Miami, the opening salvo in the MLS Cup final. The own goal courtesy of Ralph Priso. Takaoka was in between steps, flat-footed, trying to decide if Allende was going to take a shot or feed it into the middle channel in the box. Allende decided to pass it. Priso wasn't expecting it, and he put it across the goal line. It was actually Eddie Ocampo who got a foot on it first. And this is going to stand, I believe. Allende onside. Yep, went off of Ocampo. And his left leg with plenty of pace. Takaoka did not stand a chance, and it was Silvetti who was making the run up the middle. 1-0 Inter Miami, courtesy of a Vancouver own goal, Edier Ocampo. Ocampo, who played previously in Colombia's top division, Atlético Nacional. Takaoka had problems in his own penalty arc on a return ball. And here comes Vancouver trying to come forward. They are nasty on the counter. They are all track stars. Ian Frey able to cut down the counter opportunity for Vancouver, conceding a throw in. The Vancouver will work back into its defensive half. And now we have Rodrigo DePaul down in his own half. I believe he's lost a shoe on the pitch, and he is writhing in pain as Drew Fisher, highly regarded referee, stops play, and DePaul is grabbing at his face. Or is he just grabbing at his face in pain? He definitely got hit on the back of his ankle. That's where the shoe came off. And Drew Fisher telling the Inter Miami physios no need for them to come out. DePaul just trying to, and it is his left ankle. Drew Fisher, by the way, Canadian referee, but he is one of the best in the sport, period. The last time that he officiated an Inter Miami match was Inter Miami's 4-0 triumph quarterfinal of the MLS Cup playoffs at Cincinnati. Last time Drew Fisher was in charge of a Vancouver Whitecaps affair, it was the Canadian Championship final. Vancouver Whitecaps 4, Vancouver FC 2. Inter Miami 2 victories and a draw with Drew Fisher as the referee this season. Vancouver 3 wins in 3 matches. Inter Miami, 7th minute, going on top 1-0 over Vancouver thanks to an own goal from Edier Ocampo. On a ball from Tadeo Allende, destined for Silvetti. Here is a ball from the attacking midfield. Vancouver got it in its own area, and then Falcone able to head it on to Rocco Rios Novo, a one-hopper. And Rios Novo scoops it up in his own 6-yard box. And now he is going to roll it underhand to Falcone outside the left portion of the box, and he misses a ball across the near touchline. Not a good hit there from Maxi Falcone. If that ball gets through Ocampo, it is certainly a goal for Matteo Silvetti. That would have been a tap-in. So regardless, the result would have formed. Inter Miami trying a quick restart after a foul. Busquets suffered it in the defensive half. And the crowd boos, thinking that Inter Miami should have been able to quick restart. Allende was able to get on the end of a long ball, and just for good measure, once play was stopped, rolled the ball into the net. We welcome you to the 12th minute here at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, MLS Cup Final 2025. First appearance in this match for both sides. Vancouver, a long, illustrious history in football. Several iterations of this Vancouver club. While Inter Miami started from scratch. Inter Miami will gain possession in its left defensive third, and toe poking it onto Rocco Rios Novo. Goalkeeper is Noah Allen, and Rocco Rios Novo sprays a high long ball into the attacking midfield, goes off the head of Allende, and then Allende blocked a pass. Silvetti got absolutely blasted in the Vancouver half. The referee says play on, and then Baltasar Rodriguez is called for a foul in the midfield circle, and he gains a yellow, and he is incensed. Boy, Silvetti was just checked hockey style, for those of you Canadians listening. And then Rodriguez did make significant contact with Andres Cubas. Rodriguez is called for the infraction, so he's got to be careful. First booking comes in the 13th minute, and it's Baltasar Rodriguez shown the yellow. Vancouver restarts play in its own half. Inter Miami has not won a trophy this season. Semifinals, CONCACAF Champions Cup, knockout round FIFA Club World Cup, finalist in the Leagues Cup. falling short to Seattle. Meanwhile, Vancouver, they have had a bountiful year. Runner-up in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. A 5th Canadian championship as Mueller is fouled by Maxi Falcone just left of the attacking midfield circle. And, of course, Vancouver, MLS West champions. Vancouver, far right touchline, left attacking third. It is Sabi to the right wing. And a ball was attempted to play through. It went through Berhalter in the right portion of the box. Couldn't get a foot on it. I think Berhalter also believed he might have been offside. And it rolls across the far right end line. Goal kick for Inter Miami. Inter Miami in this postseason has been electric. 17 goals, 4 against, plus 13 goal differential. Inter Miami has tied the MLS Cup playoff record for most goals in a single postseason. And Ian Frey could not get Inter Miami out on the counter as Vancouver able to collect in its own end. Frey retreats defensively, and it's Kubas into the defensive midfield circle. Mueller, near left touchline, 25 trophies for him. 35, I should say, 25 years, Bayern Munich. Mueller able to maintain possession. Left border, top of the box, near left touchline. Inter Miami thought it had won a throw-in, but Rodrigo de Paul last to touch it. And Ali Ahmed thought about throwing it in near left touchline, even with the top of the box, but instead that is handled by Laborda. And then a foul against Vancouver to the left of the box in the Vancouver attacking third. It's Thomas Mueller. As Ian Frey hit the deck, Mueller called for the foul. Mueller stands up, shakes Frey's hand, explains to Rodrigo de Paul that he didn't mean the contact. And Inter Miami restarts play. Here's to Paul, threads the needle on a pass. Messi on to Ian Frey. Still in their defensive half is Inter Miami. Oh, great ball forward, Messi on the run. Here's Silvetti, right side of the box, and he was offside. He planted the ball into the net from the right of the box, but the flag had gone up. And I don't know. The flag went up. As we look at the replay, VAR did not call down to Drew Fisher. It is 1-0 Inter Miami, 16th minute, thanks to an own goal from Vancouver, Eddie Ocampo. Problems for Maxi Falcone in the left attacking third. We have all sorts of contact, and now we have Maxi Falcone brain set to the turf after a whistle, and that is going to be a foul and a yellow shown to Brian White of Vancouver. The first man to go down was, is that Baltasar Rodriguez? No, it's Noah Allen. Looked like there was a handball in there somewhere as well against Vancouver, as Falcone had a bit of a clunky touch about 25 yards away from his own goal. 17 minutes in, first half. 2025 MLS Cup Final presented by Audi. So Brian White collecting the yellow for Vancouver. Leads Vancouver in goals scored in the postseason with 2. His communication, Falcone and Frey in their own half. And it'll be a near left touchline throw in Thomas Mueller. Again, Eddie Ocampo, the starting right back for Vancouver, the own goal. That is the lone tally in this match to this point. It was a feed across from Tadeo Allende that went off of the right leg of Eddie Ocampo. Silvetti was coming up the back post for a tap-in goal. Never got to him, but it did find the back of the net. And now Inter Miami in the right attacking half. And Silvetti is grabbed to the ground, trying to make a run on that ball. And Drew Fisher does not give him the benefit of the whistle. The 19-year-old unhappy, and Vancouver comes forward quickly into its defensive midfield. Silvetti asking some questions defensively, but now it is clipped to the near left touchline. Mueller tries to feed the middle channel. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful physical defensive play by Noah Allen. And now Jordi Alba, deep in his own defensive third, charges forward in his final match as a professional. He got hit from behind, and the referee says play on. Alba in distress. Meanwhile, Vancouver left attacking third, asking questions. Ahmed into the upper left of the box. Held up play, and good job by Ian Frey to poke it away. And Inter Miami with Tadeo Allende had it stolen off his feet. Kubas to the left of the box. His cross to the middle, off of the head of Brian White and over the upper right of the crossbar, out of play. And Jordi Alba still down on the ground. Drew Fisher is allowing some excessively physical play here early on. Alba on his back. As we welcome you to the 19th minute. Let's take 10 seconds. 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. This is Inter Miami football.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-3. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Chase Stadium, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 2025 MLS Cup Final presented by Audi. Inter Miami 1, Vancouver Whitecaps 0. 19 and a half minutes expired on a warm 85-degree Saturday afternoon. Oscar Gonzalez, on-site engineer, the OG. Mike Rizzo back to the network studios in West Palm Beach. Off the restart of play, Inter Miami grabs a turnover in the attacking midfield. Here's Messi. Sends it into the lower right of the box. Allende, cross back. It was whiffed on by Silvetti, and Vancouver survived that. Meanwhile, Inter Miami wins it back. Busquets a sliding deflection on a Falcone. Now he tried to feed it to the top of the box. It was up over the head of Messi and seeing it onto the goalkeeper. Yohei Takaoka was Tristan Blackman. Inter Miami this season, in the regular year, 11 victories, 3 defeats, 3 draws at home, 44 first-half goals here at Chase Stadium, first in Major League Soccer. Meanwhile, Vancouver had the 4th most away victories with 8 and had a road triumph at San Diego in the Western Conference Final to get here to the MLS Cup Final presented by Audi. Ahmed pushed from behind near left touchline by Ian Frey of Inter Miami, and Vancouver will reset possession. Defensive midfield circle, Vancouver. Berhalter survey, sends it on Mueller. He tried to cut a pass to Ocampo, making a run in the middle channel, and that's snuffed out by Baltasar Rodriguez of Inter Miami, and Inter Miami resets out of its back line. DePaul, the world champion from Argentina, sends a square ball far side to near side. Ian Frey, heavy touch. Able to poke a ball, though, onto DePaul. DePaul, a flying outside foot pass, and now DePaul able to collect it again along the near touchline. Good layoff here for Frey, and then DePaul was knocked to the turf, and a foul against Vancouver. Behind the play, Ali Ahmed got his right foot into the calf of Rodrigo DePaul. 1-0, Inter Miami, the advantage. Nearing the 22nd minute. An own goal. Tadeo Allende put a cross off of Edier Ocampo, Vancouver right back, and that is the difference on the scoreline. Rodrigo DePaul a little bit precarious in the back. A pass deflected, had to send it back to his goalkeeper, Rocco Rios Novo. He sprays the ball outside his left box to Noah Allen in a fight for it in the midfield. And that was won by Silvetti, and a wonderful square ball. Messi chests it down into the right attacking midfield. Now coming up the right channel. Messi, step over. Messi, middle channel. Messi will deliver a ball. Jordi Alba had to backtrack, still got it left of the box. Alba assesses, whips it across, and Vancouver able to send it a sliding ball into the air. It's headed to the end line. Kept in by Vancouver, but won back by Baltasar Rodriguez, far left corner, and then he's fouled, and it's going to be as good as a corner on a free kick from that far side left corner. Boy, Inter Miami right now is quick to every ball. This free kick is going to come. Let's see, Drew Fisher is going to tell Baltasar Rodriguez where to place it. This is going to be about 3 yards shy of the far left corner flag. And now Messi says, hey, Baltasar, you get in the box. I'll handle this outswinger with a left foot. Inter Miami 1, Vancouver 0 in this MLS Cup Final. Awaiting the whistle of Drew Fisher as a gaggle of pink and white-clad humans sit just outside the 6-yard box. The whistle, and Messi, the free kick. Messi, good pace into the middle, but it is sent high into the air by Vancouver. Well done. A beautiful turn by Sabi, but then he commits a handball as he fell to the turf 5 yards outside his own box. And this is dangerous free kick territory for Inter Miami. Sabi did everything but keep his footing and then put his hand down on the ball. Immediately noticed by the referee, Drew Fisher. So in the 23rd minute, Lionel Messi will have a free kick opportunity unless something shocking happens, and he defers to Rodrigo de Paul, who's also standing over the ball. Inter Miami showing some pressure once again with a 1-0 lead. This is going to be an attempt from 25 yards, about even with the top of the penalty arc, left side. In the right attacking third, Messi with a free kick, 25 yards away. There's the whistle. Messi, left foot, floats it towards goal, and it is easily caught by Yohei Takaoka. Read that well, tucked himself against the left-hand post, and brought it into his chest. ESPN 106.3 is the Inter Miami flagship out of West Palm Beach, Florida. ESPN South Florida app bringing you today's action as well, bringing you my voice and commentary of this match, not to mention Apple TV, MLS Season Pass. And for those of you streaming worldwide on YouTube, a very special welcome. A long ball from Vancouver's defensive half. What a beautiful square ball. And now it is Sabi. Sabi got by Jordi Alba. Sabi still has the ball. And then he is cut down in the box. And the referee says play on. Baltasar Rodriguez with the sliding tackle to avoid a goal-scoring opportunity. Emmanuel Sabi, freakish ability on the ball. And he nearly single-handedly brought his team level. Drew Fisher was right on top of the play to wipe off the penalty opportunity. Now Ian Frey for Inter Miami overran the ball, but then nutmegged the Vancouver defender to maintain possession. It went through the legs of Ahmed. Now Inter Miami has Busquets playing the ball forward. Messi trying to get there outside the upper right. This ball's high into the air, and Messi collected it right in the box, and then a late whistle foul against Lionel Messi. He had made contact with Priso. Messi just couldn't get there in time. We have talked about the overall team speed of Vancouver Whitecaps. It is prolific. It is best in Major League Soccer. I have no problem saying that. The crowd boos vociferously unhappy. And we have crossed the threshold of the 26th minute. Inter Miami, a 1-0 advantage over Vancouver. Tadeo Allende not credited for the goal, which would set the MLS Cup playoff single postseason record, but it was his cross that was own goal into the back of the net. Inter Miami back in its right attacking third, near right touchline. Allende, now Messi, retreats to the near touchline. Here he comes on the charge, right of the box, trying to nutmeg a defender. That was Berhalter, and Berhalter equal to the task. Allende nearly stole a ball back to the right of the area. And now Vancouver trying to work it out of its own end. Good hustle by Baltasar Rodriguez. And he is able to keep the ball in play. Messi was standing offside as an airborne ball was sent to the attacking third. And Vancouver has to send a retreating ball on a Yohei Takaoka. Vancouver in possession in their own end, deep in their own end. Blackman. Now Berhalter rolls the ball to Kubas. Maxi Falcone comes up and steals the ball. And here he comes. Falcone to the left of the box. He's going to feed it to Matteo Silvetti. Lower left. He retreats. Now he looks on, surveys his options, delivers it into the penalty arc. On the Messi left foot. A shot was deflected at the last moment by Kubas. And it trickles on to Takaoka. Dare I say, that's the best opportunity Messi has had against Vancouver in now 2 1/4 matches in 2025. Messi did not have a goal against NYCFC in the Eastern Conference Final. Did have an assist to his fellow Rosario man, Matteo Silvetti. And that was for a second straight match. Vancouver's goalkeeper, Takaoka, outside his own penalty D. And it's worked Vancouver in its own half to Laborda. Ball pushed to the defensive midfield and a foul against Ian Frey of Inter Miami. Quick restart, Inter Miami. Have to be careful here if you're the men in pink. Here's Blackman nearing the midfield stripe to the right of the midfield O. Heading far side to near side, Sabi. Now Vancouver straight on, 35 yards away. Near left touchline, collecting Ahmed. Ahmed against Frey. Ahmed got to the left of the box, pushed the ball off the knee of Ian Frey. Top of the box border, near side, left side. Throw in Vancouver from the near left touch line. It'll be handled by Laborda. Outside left channel, turning with the left foot, Kubas. Now Berhalter. Vancouver retreats to the left of the midfield circle in its own half. Priso and Blackman with dueling passes. And now Vancouver still in its own half. Near left touch line, Ahmed. Ahmed working against Frey. Ahmed for Vancouver. Ahmed left of the box. Rolled it into the middle of the box. Trying to make a turn. Mueller marked by Falcone. Now Kubas outside the upper left. Fed to Berhalter. Berhalter had to turn. Vancouver still in possession. 30 yards away. Lionel Messi with a steal. Messi leading a 3-on-2. Messi sends it to the outside right channel. Right of the box here is DePaul. DePaul, a square ball to the left flank. It's hauled in there by Baltasar Rodriguez. He's going to let Alba get on the end of it. Alba in his final match. Now Rodriguez left of the box. Rodriguez into the middle channel. Busquets. Busquets trying to make the turn. He was held. And then he commits a foul, does Busquets, according to the referee. And it'll be Vancouver in possession. Maxi Falcone did well to mark Thomas Mueller as Vancouver worked the ball into the Inter Miami area. And that allowed Lionel Messi to come forward and force the turnover, but Vancouver, right at the apex of its own half, will restart play. We welcome you to the half-hour mark. First half 2025 MLS Cup final presented by Audi. Vancouver pushes forward. A ball into the middle channel. That's extinguished by Jordi Alba of Inter Miami, but right back on it is Kubas for Vancouver. Vancouver starting to grow into the match a bit. Sabi rolls it on to Blackman, the right center back, now pushing forward. Sabi in the middle channel, marked by Busquets. Sprays it outside the upper right of the box. Trying to play it through is Mueller. It goes off of Jordi Alba, and it'll be rolled on to Rocco Rios Novo in the lower right of his area. I think Mueller was just trying to clip it off of Alba and earn a corner across the end line, but didn't get enough of Jordi Alba. And able to meander over the ball was Rocco Rios Novo. He has been the favored goalkeeper now for over a month, replacing Oscar Ustari. Vancouver right back on the ball after the Inter Miami delivery into the midfield. Inter Miami has not had much possession here over the last 10 minutes or so. 1-0 Inter Miami on top. Vancouver in its own right defensive third. Left-footed roll from Priso. Off his line is the goalkeeper, Takaoka, who gets Vancouver out on the run. Ahmed, here he surges, left attacking third, and he lost the ball. Frey went to ground, as did Ahmed, and then a late whistle and a foul against Inter Miami. Ian Frey has a big divot taken out of the turf. Top of the box extended near side, left side. This will be a free kick. Again, top of the box border extended the left-hand side. So an 18-yard free kick coming. This will be a dangerous whip-in. Inter Miami has had problems on set pieces. It even happened in the Eastern Conference Final. The only concession for Inter Miami was off a headed set piece. 32 and a half minutes, first half. 1-0 Inter Miami. Sebastian Berhalter. 11 assists in the regular season for Vancouver. Has an additional assist here in the MLS Cup playoff. He will send in the free kick as Mueller stands right in front of Rocco Rios Novo, the Bayern Munich legend. Inter Miami is going to play Mueller offside, and now he's going to have to come to the edge of the 6-yard area. This will be a right-footed in-swinger goal kick. Free kick, I should say. Got to be careful if you're Inter Miami. Berhalter to the middle of the box. It's headed right at Rios Novo. Brian White trying to send it off the right side of his head. That was a good effort, but Rios Novo was positioned well and caught it with both hands, chest level. It remains 1-0 Inter Miami. Brian White is so dangerous, such a pest, and Inter Miami turns it over. Left attacking third for Vancouver, but then a quick panicky cross right off of the turnover by Berhalter. Nobody was home, and Rios Novo simply bats the ball down and picks it up in his own area. Inter Miami would be well served to get back on the ball here at some point. Rios Novo, a nice delivery sidewinding onto DePaul, but it's given right back to Vancouver. Kubas, middle channel, 35 yards out. He bananas a ball to the outside right channel. This is about 30 yards away as Vancouver sets up shape in the attack. Vancouver has dominated possession for nearly 13 minutes. Ahmed, left of the box, along the touchline near side, rolls it into space. Kubas on the left wing. Kubas outside the penalty D, worked on to Blackman. He has it inside right channel, 30 yards out. Coming forward, Ocampo and a turnover. Busquets able to win it for Inter Miami. Can Inter Miami find some way to hold on to the ball here? And the answer is yes, as Silvetti is spun down along the far touchline. Inter Miami in its own left half. It is a warm afternoon in South Florida. This is the earliest kickoff of 2025, all competitions for Inter Miami. The only competitors, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Second home match of the season for Inter Miami, 1-0 win over Charlotte, and then a 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time kickoff against Dallas a few weeks later. Ian Frey trying to do too much as he charged into the right attacking half. He goes to ground. Vancouver wins the ball back, and we have a whistle and a stoppage as Allende is going nose-to-nose with Berhalter behind the play. And Vancouver tried a quick restart. Drew Fisher says send it back to the midfield stripe on the near left side. And Messi is going to place the ball for Matias Laborda. What a friendly move from Lionel Messi. Vancouver with the always dangerous Sabi, far right touchline, feeds it into the right wing, turning Ocampo, and he's tackled off the ball, and another foul is called against Drew Fisher. This is on Baltasar Rodriguez. So this refereeing crew, as Vancouver had a quick restart, they roll it out of play. Drew Fisher is going to say, you're allowed another free kick. But this refereeing crew has allowed all sorts of physical play to happen here in the opening 36 minutes, and now all of a sudden, it's a ticky-tack affair where breathing is drawing the whistle. Free kick, hugging that far right touchline. We'll call this 24 yards for Vancouver. 1-0 Inter Miami, and on an own goal for Vancouver in the 7th minute. It's going to be a right-footed attempt. This will be an outswinger fed right into the box. Taking a dive in the box was Blackman. Drew Fisher said, come on, get up. Here is a low cross. Noah Allen took that fastball off his head. About 8 yards from goal, sent it outside the area, but job not done. Here's Mueller all the way to the near left touchline, trying to come in support of Ocampo. And another foul called against Inter Miami. This is Silvetti. Air is diving all over the place here from Vancouver. Ali Ahmed went to ground. Silvetti, frustrated, stalks off after drawing the foul. Rodrigo DePaul is stalking Drew Fisher, and we're going to have a yellow called against Javier Mascherano, or at least the Inter Miami touchline. And Mascherano is furious. Inter Miami can't lose its head here. Inter Miami's the side that has the 1-0 lead. But man, this has been really, really uneven for the last 5 to 6 minutes. This is going to be similar to a corner. Near left corner for Vancouver. It's Berhalter who stands over it as Messi is on the border of the left box. Everybody else is camped out in the 6-yard area. Rios Novo trying to direct traffic, but the massive bodies in front of him. Fisher blows the whistle. Berhalter right into the middle, and it's headed away well by Busquets. Now the race is on. It's going to be won by Vancouver. Ocampo 30 yards out. He recycles a ball. A header in the area. Reco Rios Novo just denied. Sabi from the top of the 6-yard box, point blank, and it remains 1-0. Play was stopped. I don't think that shot actually counts. I think there might have been an offside, or was there a foul after Inter Miami retreated out of the box? Now that was onside. Rios Novo just denied a Sabi half volley on a ball that was headed to the back post. And Vancouver will concede an Inter Miami throw-in near touchline in their own half, left side of the pitch. But Inter Miami really has to get back on the ball. Vancouver has been the better side for the better part of the last 15 minutes. I think it's pretty safe to say. And Rios Novo has the ball fed back to him. He sends it skyward. And a flying header for Vancouver. The ball is delivered right of the Inter Miami box. Noah Allen is trying to shield off Sabi, and he's going to win a throw in deep right corner. We are into the 39th minute. Inter Miami 1, Vancouver 0. We just saw a phenomenal save from Rocco Rios Novo. I want to double check that was actually credited with a save because we heard a whistle. Yeah, that is a save for Rocco Rios Novo. Did well to cut off the angle of Sabi, who was extremely close range, and him having to wait for it to bounce onto his right foot cost him a equalizing goal. But guess what? Vancouver right back on the ball. How is Inter Miami going to win possession back? Inter Miami is playing with all sorts of fire right now in this hot South Florida early December weather. Mueller, good ball into the middle channel. 1-2 from Mueller, but he sent it to nobody in the penalty D. And sending it high into the air was Inter Miami into the defensive midfield. Now a Yende heavy touch, but he was able to work it to DePaul. DePaul had his shirt held by Kubas, and Kubas takes it right back. DePaul getting back defensively. Here is Ocampo from his right back spot to Blackman. Into the middle channel, Berhalter. Back to Blackman outside the upper right. Blackman into the middle. Mueller with a header and ranging, grabbing it. Right below the crossbar is Rocco Rios Novo. And as he fell into his own goal, he kept the ball in front of the goal line. Rios Novo right now, massive for Inter Miami. You can make the argument it should be 2-1 and a horrible giveaway for DePaul. Here is Mueller for Vancouver. And a whistle and a foul against Mueller of Vancouver as he got to the penalty D. DePaul was frantically trying to stay shoulder to shoulder with him. And at the last moment, Mueller tugged on the sleeve of DePaul as Mueller is trying to feed Brian White right box. But Rodrigo DePaul, that can't happen. That is not good enough. Not for a player of his caliber, not for a world champion. He made a mess of that. Inter Miami fortunate. Finally Messi on the ball, attacking half. Plays a good ball through to Allende, making a run. Right side of the box, Allende had it swept away. It is sent across the near right end line. And Drew Fisher says it's off of Tadeo Allende. Ocampo had the slide. I don't know how Allende would have touched that. And it's going to be a goal kick. That is not a goal kick. That is not a goal kick at all. It should have been a corner. Inter Miami's first on the day. That didn't even come close to hitting Allende. That is an absolute travesty. We saw it on the replay. That is an abomination. As we head to the 42nd minute, Inter Miami clinging by its fingernails to a 1-0 Vancouver, 1-0 lead over Vancouver. This will end up being a dominating possession first half for Vancouver. They are winning every 50-50 ball, and they're back in the Inter Miami half. Near left touchline, Ahmed 1v1 with Frey. Ahmed stays on his right foot. And now a great ball from 30 yards out into the left box. Berhalter trying to feed Brian White. He was marked by Noah Allen. It's going to head all the way across the far touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Inter Miami in its far right corner. Just has to be better, though, for Inter Miami. Vancouver is winning absolutely everything possession-wise. Inter Miami has dominated possession all year long. And another turnover by Inter Miami in its left defensive third. A ball desperately cleared far side to near side. It's going to be out of play off Inter Miami. Vancouver throw-in. Vancouver in its attacking midfield off the throw. Middle channel, Berhalter meanders. Now it's sent Brian White outside the upper left, trying to feed Mueller. And it was Busquets able to win it for Inter Miami. And now Messi attempted to be feed by DePaul, but Vancouver able to step in the passing lane and grab it back. Vancouver has 236 passes to Inter Miami's 136. This has been wildly one-sided, but it's Inter Miami with the 1-0 lead. The Infray able to wipe out Ahmed, and Ahmed called for a foul in the Inter Miami half on the left flank. Both sides have suffered a booking. Baltasar Rodriguez shown yellow for Inter Miami. Brian White on the Vancouver side. Rodrigo DePaul wants a free kick from his own half, and Drew Fisher telling him to retreat. 6 yards, 7 yards. And now Drew Fisher is satisfied, and Inter Miami restarts. This ball is cut into the middle channel defensive half by Allen. Good one-touch pass. Alba, who was not happy with the misdirection on that pass. And then Baltasar Rodriguez shouldered off the ball. This will be a yellow. That was an easy call. Rodriguez coming up the far left touchline was blasted by Ocampo, and reaching right into his pocket was Drew Fisher. And Rodriguez still down on the far touchline. I mean, that was a pretty significant shoulder block from Ocampo. Oh, he hit him right in the chin. I mean, in some circumstances, you at least consider a straight red for that, but probably not in a match of this magnitude. We are going to play 2 minutes of extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealers. Test drive the A5 today. Your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. Inter Miami in the Vancouver half. Square ball. Busquets to Alba. Near right touch. I'll make that Frey 40 yards out. Now Silvetti. He's tripped down along the near right touch line. That foul is going to be Laborda, and Inter Miami's going to have a free kick 35 yards away. Rodrigo DePaul is still in the ear of Drew Fisher. Silvetti with a little bit of a limp as he stands up. We are nearly a minute into 2 minutes of extra time here in Fort Lauderdale. 1-0 Inter Miami. MLS Cup final presented by Audi. DePaul and Messi stand over the ball. Messi is probably going to be the one to deliver an in-swinging free kick. Rocco Rios Novo, if you're just joining us, 3 saves. The final 2 have been spectacular. One on a point-blank Sabi from inside the 6-yard box on a half volley. The other denying Mueller a header just under the crossbar. Messi, 45 seconds left in the half. Messi, near right touchline. 30 yards out, a free kick. Messi looks at his options. Messi takes his time. Messi approaches the ball. Left foot curling to the edge of the 6-yard box. A header goes off the top of the goal. It was sent skyward by Busquets as he crouched down, delivered off the back of his head, and Takaoka had to track it. 46-43, 46-44, 46-45. Sergio Busquets hasn't scored any competition in 2025. That was maybe his closest opportunity. Inter Miami able to grab the ball in the Vancouver half. Late. And Inter Miami, I don't think they're going to try and push forward. They want to head to the dressing room, and they do. Inter Miami had to tread water for about the final 20 minutes or so of the first half. Javier Mascherano in earful for the 4th referee as he walked off. Got to be careful. You remember, he was delivered a red in the Leagues Cup and missed the second half and an additional game for that infraction. That doesn't matter, the additional game, but Javier Mascherano, you'll want him for the second half. Inter Miami, thanks to an own goal from Vancouver's Edier Ocampo, leads Vancouver Whitecaps 1-0 through 45 minutes. It is halftime of the 2025 MLS Cup Final, presented by Audi. Mike Rizzo has your halftime show next from the network studios in West Palm Beach. This is Inter Miami football.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
A bicycle kick is a risky move, and risky can be exciting for soccer, but not for your money. PNC Bank believes boring is better. It's the smart and steady way to manage your finances and save the excitement for all you want to do in life. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud to sponsor Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121, or visit tworld.com today.
Inter Miami. What a season! Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team, today and always.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Here's Mike Rizzo.
KG match. KG MLS Cup final presented by Audi in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami up 1-0 at the halfway mark with an own goal by the defender, the right back for Vancouver, Ocampo. But it was a brilliant cross from Tadio Allende. In my personal opinion, I believe Matteo Silvetti would have ended up on the right side of things on it. But regardless, it counts, baby. And Inter Miami taking a 1-0 lead in the halftime. And welcome on into your halftime show. We are powered by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Test drive that brand new Audi A5 today. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. Let's go through some statistics here at the half. Now, you heard voicing the Inter Miami Herons Ken Levicka say, and I completely agreed with him, Vancouver dominated the ball. They dominated the ball, and they probably had more chances. And the statistics agree. Vancouver's expected goal is .57. Inter Miami's is .21. Each Inter Miami and Vancouver have 4 total shots. 3 shots on target for Vancouver, 1 shot on target for our Herons. And the story of the first half is Rocco Rios Novo and his ability to keep Inter Miami and that clean sheet ahead in this MLS Cup final. Rios Novo 3 saves in that first half, and at a dire time right before halftime, Rocco Rios Novo came up big for Inter Miami. But 3 keeper saves for the young Rios Novo. We had a ton of fouls, folks. 24 fouls in that first half total, 10 on Inter Miami and 14 on 14 on Vancouver, and a plethora of yellow cards too distributed. You had Eddie Ocampo with the yellow, who actually picked up the own goal as well. Tough half for Eddie Ocampo with an own goal and a yellow card. Brian White, the striker for Vancouver, picked up a yellow card after he tackled Maxi Falcone to the ground in the Inter Miami box. And then Baltasar Rodriguez actually opened up the bookings in the 13th minute. So a cagey game for our Inter Miami Herons right now as they are up 1-0. I could see maybe Baltasar Rodriguez coming off in the second half. You got to be careful here with players on yellow cards. You do not want to play a man down in a cup final. And Coach Mascherano and company have a ton of quality on the bench. Obviously, Gonzalo Luan, Marcelo Wagon, Toto Aviles, Fafa Pico, Telasco Segovia, Yannick Bright, Luis Suarez, and Alan Abando. I think if Rodriguez gets the hook, Fafa Pico could come on. Pico has a ton of MLS experience. Actually, scratch that. I actually think Telasco Segovia will come on. Segovia scored a goal in the 83rd minute against NYCFC in the Eastern Conference Final. I could see Telasco Segovia playing that left midfielder spot for Baltasar, who has the yellow card. But we got to see how kind of close to the chest Coach Mascherano is going to play it come out of the half. Is he going to give the leash to Baltasar Rodriguez to play deep into the second half with a yellow card? These are things that you're going to have to, I think that Coach Mascherano is going to in the locker room and talking to with his coaching staff, because, like I said, you cannot afford to play with the man down, especially with how ball dominant Vancouver was in that first half. Specifically in the midfield, Vancouver was fantastic with Berhalter and Kubas. And if I had to pick a man of the first half for Inter Miami, it's Lionel Messi. He was creating. He had a brilliant. I mean, they ruled him offside, but Messi had a brilliant pass to Matteo Silvetti, which ended up being a goal, but the flag was up. It was offsides. But the move that Lionel Messi played, or rather had, was poetry in motion. Poetry in motion. And what can you expect from the GOAT? Now let's take a listen to the own goal. I mentioned 1-0, Inter Miami up at the half. We had an own goal in the first half for Vancouver by Ocampo. Now, as I've mentioned, I agree with the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken Levica, that this one was going to be in the back of the net regardless, because Matteo Silvetti was trailing on the back post. But let's take a listen to the own goal by Ocampo, Eddie Ocampo for Vancouver. Stand by, actually. Folks, give me 2 seconds here. Ocampo, I mentioned, picked up the yellow card as well. So I think, Jasper Sorensen is definitely going to play things close to the chest when it comes with Ocampo, but I do have the highlight ready. Let's take a listen.
Allende, here we go, right of the box. Allende tried to send it to the middle. It's an own goal. It's an own goal for Vancouver. They knock it in to their own net as Allende tried to feed the middle. Ralph Priso put it into his own goal. 7 minutes in, Inter Miami, the opening salvo in the MLS Cup final.
It looked like Priso put it in the back of the net, but they actually ruled Ocampo as the one that it hit. And as I mentioned, a couple of players on a yellow, Ocampo being one of them, Rodriguez being one for the Inter Miami Herons, and Brian White being one, the striker for Vancouver, also in the book. Now, more substitutions maybe if Coach Mascherano wants to go more defensive. You can maybe sub on Yannick Bright in the midfield for Rodriguez, but I don't think Inter Miami feels comfortable with one goal. I think Inter Miami is going to go for another goal early on in that second half, and I do think Coach Mascherano and the Herons are going to come out attacking. You don't want to be on the back foot in the cup final. And I felt like for the final 20 minutes of that first half, Inter Miami was just trying to survive it in the final 20 minutes. I feel like they were just trying to survive it and get through until halftime and maybe make some adjustments. But we'll have to wait and see how things shake out in the second half with the lineup. What substitutions is Coach Mascherano going to go with? Remember, in the Eastern Conference Finals, Inter Miami was up 1 goal, and they ended up scoring 3 in the second half and beating NYCFC 5-1. It was a 2-1 affair against NYCFC, and in this MLS Cup matchup, Inter Miami up 1-0. We'll have to wait and see what Coach Mascherano decides. Let's send things back to the voice of Inter Miami Herons, Ken Levica, right after this timeout. This is Inter Miami football on ESPN 106.3.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
During football season, keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today, kick off your game day comfort, and don't sweat the small stuff.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
It's Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Ken LaVicka.
It is halftime of the 2025 MLS Cup Final, and we're about to get the second half underway. Inter Miami 1, Vancouver Whitecaps 0. Shea Stadium, Fort Lauderdale. It is hot, it is steamy, it is 86 degrees, it is humid, and well, it's December 6th in this part of the United States. Not uncommon. Inter Miami, thanks to an own goal in the 7th minute. Today, Oyende with a cross, knocked into the back of his own goal. Edier Ocampo, that's the difference. And we are back underway in the second half. Vancouver will be in possession to open. No changes at halftime for either side. 58% possession for Vancouver in the opening 45 after the Inter Miami goal. Rocco Rios Novo, absolutely exceptional to keep Inter Miami with the lead, the young Inter Miami goalkeeper. Second half kickoff presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami. Can Inter Miami get more of the ball? They're going to have to. Long ball from the defensive half, and that's chested down. Ian Frey of Inter Miami. And Frey is in a battle with Ahmed. They have been at one another in this match, and Frey pulled from behind and fouled in his own half. Far touchline. Inter Miami is going to go right to left with this attack. Vancouver can score in bunches, and they can do it in short order. And Rocco Rios Novo with a dangerous ball from in front of his own goal. He tried to sweep it to Noah Allen, and then Allen was contested in the near right corner, and it nearly was a corner kick conceded. But the referee says goal kick for Inter Miami. Putting the pressure on was Brian White. The 2,000-strong Vancouver contingent. It happened right in front of them, and they went absolutely wild south end of the stadium. Inter Miami in its own third. Side the own penalty D. Here is Maxi Falcone. Sends a ball outside right channel. Went right through Ian Frey. Man, oh man. This is increasingly hard to watch. In Inter Miami, I'll say it is wildly lucky at this point to still lead 1-0. Vancouver has gripped this match. Inter Miami has got to find itself against this track team. Here's a ball to the outside the upper right. A tackle for Inter Miami. The referee says play on. Vancouver still on the ball. In the middle channel, Kubas send it 40 yards away, left flank, and now Kubas going to retreat and deliver it far right touchline into the right attacking third. Vancouver, quick 1-2 pass. Mueller will send it to a runner, and then a foul outside the penalty D as Falcone went down, but so did a Vancouver attacker, and a yellow's going to be shown to Maxi Falcone. It was Ahmed who went to ground. Falcone's about to get a yellow, and this is going to be a wildly dangerous free kick from 24 yards, and it is even with the left post. This will be put on target, and we'll see who's going to take it. Falcone is called for the foul and given the yellow. Used his forearm. So Drew Fisher sets up this free kick for Vancouver. Can't say I'm surprised by this opportunity in the opening 3 minutes for Vancouver Whitecaps. They have earned it. Vancouver has only 2 second-half goals in this MLS Cup playoff. Both came in Game 1 against Dallas, Round 1. Mueller and Cabrera. Mueller with a penalty. This is a free kick. This is from 24 yards. This is even with the far left post. This is in the right attacking third for Vancouver. In white with a blue stripe across the chest. Inter Miami in all pink. Ticking down to the 49th minute. Inter Miami 1, Vancouver 0, and a major chance to equalize for Vancouver. It's Berhalter standing over it. for the Western Conference champion Vancouver Whitecaps. There's the whistle, Drew Fisher. The Wall organizes. Berhalter chops his feet and approaches, and he sent the ball over the crossbar by about 7 yards. That is not how the U.S. men's national team man wanted to hit it. He absolutely clocked that, and it went 6 rows deep into the stands on the south end of Chase Stadium. Rocco Rios Novo made a point-blank stop of Emmanuel Sabi in the first half, and was able to shut down a header from Tomas Mueller. And guess what? Vancouver back on the ball after Rocco Rios Novo sprayed it into the Vancouver half. Vancouver just so sturdy in possession. Now another long ball defensive half into the right attacking third. This is headed into the Inter Miami box, and Jordi Alba will send it skyward about 45 feet, and Vancouver able to win it back. We are 5 minutes gone second half. An own goal is our difference. Inter Miami a 1-0 lead. Inter Miami needs possession to give themselves a cushion, and that has just not existed. Good spacing for Vancouver. And a foul against Baltasar Rodriguez, who has to be really careful. He's already on a yellow. He swiped at Ocampo on the near right touchline. I think Javier Mascherano may need to make a decision on Baltasar Rodriguez here in short order. You can't go down to 10 men. Falcone also has a yellow for Inter Miami. He'd be much more difficult to replace if he has to be subbed off. Far side to near side to far side on the midfield stripe. Here is Vancouver. Now to the far left touchline. Good turning the corner, and this is a foul against Ian Frey of Inter Miami. And a quick restart from the left flank for Vancouver. Here's Ahmed, left of the box, moving in on Falcone. Ahmed drags to the end line. Ahmed is forced out of play, and it goes across the end line. It'll be Inter Miami with the goal kick. Falcone got physical with Ahmed and won that battle. Rodrigo de Paul is saying, why don't you show a yellow to Ahmed for simulation, as he threw himself to this natural surface. But Drew Fisher said, I already did you a benefit, gave you the goal kick. There's been a lot of discourse over the last couple of weeks about the state of BC Place. That's the home of Vancouver Whitecaps, and its artificial surface. And that was especially after Hugo Lloris, LAFC goalkeeper, commented that all matches should be played on natural turf after LAFC bowed out in the dramatic quarterfinal of the MLS Cup playoffs on the western side in penalties. No problem here today with the surface. And here is a drag down from Noah Allen. Noah Allen's called for a foul along the near right end line outside the right box. He took down Ocampo, who's trying to run onto the ball. I mean, that's Noah Allen can protest all he wants. That's as clear as day, and he's fortunate that he wasn't shown a yellow. It happened right in front of the Vancouver supporters. They reacted. Drew Fisher made the right call. And this is just domination for Vancouver here. We're in the 52nd minute. Inter Miami has not had a single spell of possession in the opening now nearly 8 minutes of the second half. 1-0 Inter Miami. I mean, it feels destined at some point here to be drawn level. Berhalter, 5 yards outside the end line, whips it into the box. That's headed away by Inter Miami and Silvetti, and this will be delivered right in front of the midfield. Vancouver in the right attacking half, the Inter Miami half. Berhalter, beautiful ball through into the right side of the box, still going, and finally Noah Allen, a desperate steal from Kubas at the last moment, but Vancouver surging forward again. Far left touchline. This is chopped into the box. This is punched away by Rios Novo, and finally Inter Miami has the ball. Here's Jordi Alba striking it free on the counter. Silvetti chugging forward in the Vancouver half, but he's not going to get there. Good hustle by Priso to sweep it back on to Takaoka in front of his own penalty D. So there you go. That's the first anything on the ball for Inter Miami. And Vancouver surges forward again. Here's a nutmeg, but Falcone is able to handle that after Ahmed put it through Ian Frey. Now DePaul for Inter Miami. Holds up play. DePaul, nifty footwork. Clears it into space behind him, and now Falcone, the right center back, will lift it into the defensive midfield, headed down by Alba, but it was a bit too hard for a teammate to grab onto it, and now Falcone able to win it again for Inter Miami in the defensive half. Short-range passing. This is punched into the midfield, and unable to get onto the end of it was Messi. Finally, Inter Miami able to win it back again, and now Jordi Alba in the left defensive half into the left attacking third near left touchline. Alba, Silvetti, and Silvetti just cooked a return ball. Looking for Alba along the near left touchline. You appreciate the idea, but with Inter Miami not having any of the ball, perhaps could have just held up play for a moment and waited for reinforcements. A youngster, 19 years old, he's got to keep his head in those moments. Don't want to try to do too much. Inter Miami 1, Vancouver 0. And we are into the 55th minute. Inter Miami wins the ball in the midfield, attacking half. DePaul retreats, and now he's into the midfield circle, and now he is still going, and now he's to the right flank, and now he's in a foot race, and now DePaul's still going, and then he is blown up. Drew Fisher says, let's play advantage, and Inter Miami in the middle channel, straight on 40 yards away. Busquets comes forward. Now Jordi Alba outside the upper left. He floats a ball into the box. Allende had it punched away, but then a header from Messi just put a ball wide of the near left post. Takaoka was off his line, and Messi just missed the post from the top of the box. There's possession for Inter Miami, and it was nearly 2-0. Oh, goodness. Let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. This is Inter Miami football.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
1-0, Inter Miami over Vancouver Whitecaps, 2025 MLS Cup Final. Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with Oscar Gonzalez, the OG on-site engineer. I'm Ken Levicka, back in the network studios in West Palm Beach. It is Mike Rizzo, and our first substitution of the match. Talasco Segovia has taken off Baltasar Rodriguez. So the Venezuelan international, Talasco Segovia, comes on in the 56th minute of a 1-0 match, Inter Miami and Vancouver. Inter Miami very nearly made it 2-0 just moments ago. Vancouver has been the better side from about the 20-minute mark of the opening half. Inter Miami's goal, an own goal from Vancouver's Edier Ocampo, the right back, on a beautiful cross from Tadeo Allende. Vancouver in its own half. Inter Miami showing a bit of press on the left side of the pitch. Vancouver, champions of the Western Conference, dispatched of Dallas in the opening round in 2. Beat LAFC in penalties in the conference semifinal, and then beat San Diego in the final 3-1. In game 2 of that round 1 series, that was decided in penalties as well. Inter Miami, meanwhile, 17-4, make it 18-4 advantage in the MLS Cup playoff. Here's a ball chipped into the box, chested down, and a shot by Mueller from the penalty D, blocks it high into the air. Now right of the box, it is corralled by Vancouver. Now Sabi tried to play it forward. There was contact, no whistle as a Vancouver player hit the deck. Now a long ball off the clearance. Messi into the attacking midfield. Messi had it tackled away as Allende was trying to come up in support. And then Maxi Falcone, a physical tackle as Inter Miami wins it back. Boy, there are bodies hitting the turf everywhere. Defensive midfield, Messi sends a side ball to Allende. Messi had it tackled away initially. Then he gets bowled over in the midfield circle. The referee says play on, and Vancouver has the ball. It's been too inconsistent. What's too physical? What's not physical enough? Nobody knows, and that's an indictment of Drew Fisher and this refereeing crew. 58th minute, 1-0 Inter Miami. Things getting tense here in South Florida. Blackman sends it middle channel. Look out, Brian White outside the penalty D. And a good tackle by Talasco Segovia of Inter Miami, and a blasted clearance into the Vancouver half left side of the pitch. Inter Miami retreated, able to put numbers back and able to grab possession of that ball. The Vancouver attackers starting to come further and further out to try and grab possession and test Rocco Rios Novo. Vancouver has been phenomenal this season. 66 goals for, third in MLS, 38 against, second in Major League Soccer, arguably the most well-rounded team in the league. Sabi sends it to the right of the penalty spot. Brian White to the left of the box, and he scores. It's a goal for Vancouver. The buildup was there. It was only a matter of time. And Vancouver has drawn this match level in the 59th minute. A right-footed conversion for Ali Ahmed, and it is certainly game on in Fort Lauderdale. And Inter Miami has only itself to blame. It just has not been good enough. Rios Novo got a touch on it near the left post, but couldn't keep it out of the back of the net. It went off of the right bar and bounced into the left side of the net. 1-1 Inter Miami and Vancouver. Extremely deserved for Vancouver as we pass the hour mark. Inter Miami gets play underway in their own half. Noah Allen's going to sweep it back to Rocco Rios Novo in his own penalty D. There's a lot of noise coming from the Vancouver supporters section right near Rocco Rios Novo's goal. For Ahmed, it is his first goal in MLS play in 2025, and what a time to do it, the Canadian international. A foul against Vancouver in Inter Miami's defensive midfield. And it'll be DePaul on the restart. Far side, near that far end line. 1-1 Inter Miami in Vancouver. MLS Cup final presented by Audi. Own goal Vancouver in the 7th minute. Vancouver into the Inter Miami goal in the 59th minute. And a turnover for Inter Miami. Here's Vancouver. Here's Sabi charging through Segovia into the penalty D. Bumped off the ball. Then a shot went off the right bar. And it is going to be cleared across the end line by Maxi Falcone. It'll be a goal kick for Inter Miami. But Inter Miami is being absolutely outplayed. I mean dominated in this MLS Cup final. Emmanuel Sabi right now is the man of the match. He doesn't have the goal, but he has been the engine. He has been the trigger for all of this for Vancouver in this second half. He beat Rios Novo, but it went off of both posts. And Inter Miami has to feel as if prayers are being answered. This should honestly, going back to the final moments of the first half, be 4-1 in favor of Vancouver. Segovia on to Jordi Alba. Into the left attacking half. Here's Inter Miami. Middle channel, Messi. Messi tried to play through Allende, and that was intercepted by Vancouver. Inter Miami's been reduced to a couple of counter opportunities, and that's about it. Javier Mascherano has some really tough decisions to make because his team cannot gain possession. Near right touchline, right attacking third, Ocampo for Vancouver. Now retreating ball into the midfield circle, near right side. Here's Blackman for Vancouver. Now Brian White, middle channel, just shouldering off Noah Allen. Vancouver trying to show off its bulk here. Ocampo, near touchline. Now Mueller, outside the upper right, feeds to the middle. Berhalter trying to lift a ball into the area. That was handled by Inter Miami, and then a handball against Inter Miami 30 yards out. That's the way it's been for Inter Miami for about the last 40 minutes of game action. 63 and a half minutes on this clock in what is a tense MLS Cup final. Vancouver has just drawn level 1-1 on a goal from Ali Ahmed. An assist for Emmanuel Sabi, who nearly made it 2-1 just seconds later. Put a ball off the right post and the left post. Very unfortunate and unlucky for him not to give Vancouver, the Western Conference champions, the advantage. This is going to be a free kick from about 28 yards for Berhalter of Vancouver. I don't think he's going to try and put it on target. Raises his hand, lifts it into the box, and it's headed away by Inter Miami outside the left portion of the box and controlled by Allende. Allende is simply going to whip a ball forward, and no one in particular that got through the legs initially of Ocampo, but he was able to control it before Segovia got there to try and put pressure on the Vancouver goal. It has been a quiet near 45 minutes consecutively for Yohei Takaoka of Vancouver Whitecaps, their goalkeeper. 1-1, Inter Miami and Vancouver. Here is Sabi, so dangerous on the ball. Into the right attacking half, Vancouver. Mueller onto Blackman to the right of the midfield O. Vancouver is using every inch of this pitch. It has been really impressive. Ahmed plays a ball through. Here is Berhalter, left box, center middle channel. It was a bit too far ahead of the goal scorer, Ahmed. And now a ball is lifted forward, and Silvetti just got taken down. This will be a yellow against Blackman, as Silvetti would have been behind Blackman on a ball lifted into the attacking half. Well, Vancouver has taken two opportunities to prevent potential counters, eaten yellows, and they've been wise decisions. That's the third booking of the day for Vancouver. 65 minutes, nearly 66 minutes in this second half. And Inter Miami off the restart. Into the left attacking Vancouver half, far right touchline. Frey, Vancouver marking so well. Frey on his right foot. Frey lifts the ball right of the box. Here is DePaul, and it's cleared high into the seats across the far touchline by Vancouver's Priso. Inter Miami's going to throw it in with DePaul. And now Priso's going to go down in the box. He has suffered some sort of affliction. And we'll see if this is going to require physios. There are going to be substitutions coming for Vancouver. We're going to see Udrick Pupa. Who's Pupa going to bring off? We await as players come to receive hydration along the near touchline as Vancouver's Priso gets treated near the Vancouver goal. 1-1, Inter Miami and Vancouver. An own goal in the 7th minute gave Inter Miami the lead that they held, but precariously until the 59-minute mark. That's when Ali Ahmed, on a beautiful surge forward by Emmanuel Sabi and a wonderful delivery, made a 1-1. Rios Nova, who made 3 critical saves in the opening half, got his hand on the ball, diving save, but it went off of the far post and into the goal. We're also going to see Ryan Gauld. He has the team record in the MLS era of Vancouver Whitecaps in assists. Inter Miami has made 1 substitution. Talasco Segovia in for Baltasar Rodriguez. The goal scorer, Ahmed, is done. Udrick Pupa, one of the new additions to Vancouver, signed on August the 21st. He will enter the fray and walks right by Inter Miami's Ian Frey. And Inter Miami to throw in top of the box extended. Far side, right side, in the left attacking third. Allende chests it, and a fight for the ball, and it's going to go off of Ian Frey. It'll be a Vancouver throw-in in the far corner. This has been a rough watch for Inter Miami since the 20th minute. Inter Miami was very much on the front foot for Vancouver once they've grown into the match. This has looked like the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Vancouver is everywhere using their speed, and now they're out on the counter. This is Gauld. Plays it forward, trying to hit a man outside left channel, and it's won by Inter Miami. That was well played by Noah Allen. Falcone was making the defensive attempt as well on Sabi. Inter Miami quickly into the attacking half. Near touchline, Albo lifts a ball, could not get into the left box for Segovia. It was Ocampo who sent it across the near touchline, attacking third throw in near side as the Inter Miami supporter section wills on the home side. Jordi Alba the throw in his final ever match, and he sends it to Busquets, appropriately also facing retirement. DePaul, middle channel. Now here's Messi in the middle channel. He had it taken away, but DePaul wins it right back on the carom. And about 40 yards out, Inter Miami, far right touchline, will have a square ball sent ground level fray to Busquets. Busquets fell down off a heavy touch. Look out. 3-on-2 for Vancouver. It's played into the middle. Pupa, and he sent it backwards. Could not find Mueller, but Vancouver sets up the attack. Nearing 70 minutes, 1-1 Inter Miami and Vancouver. Vancouver has effectively taken Lionel Messi out of the match. Blackman sends it right flank to left flank. Corralled there by Kubas. Far left touchline. Sabi. Work to Blackman. Nobody around him in the middle channel. Tried to feed a rolling ball left side. Collected by Busquets, but then he gave it away. Sabi left of the box, a whipping cross, and Busquets able to club it away. Now Messi is on it for Inter Miami, retreating into his defensive half. Good ball to Paul, and now Allende. Far side, left attacking half. Here is Allende, holds up play. Allende tried to feed to Paul in the middle channel, and that was handled by Berhalter, but a steal. Here's Messi. Messi plays through to Paul, into the box to Paul. Goal! From the right of the box, Messi the assist, to Paul the finish. He got it by Takaoka. Inter Miami on the counter. Inter Miami leads again. It's 2-1. 70th minute. The two Argentines give Inter Miami 2. And Inter Miami answers back. The Vancouver equalizer. It is pandemonium in South Florida. Inter Miami fans, hang on to your backsides. Here we go. What a ball through. DePaul was onside, and his right foot was pure. Inside the left post. Plenty of pace, plenty of power, plenty of accuracy. Rodrigo DePaul. It is his first goal in MLS play in 2025. Can Inter Miami will its way to a win in the MLS Cup final? What a moment. World champion to world champion. And now back to work. Vancouver sent a long ball forward. Rocco Rios Novo corrals in his own box. And Rios Novo slices a ball from in front of his own goal. Chested by Allende, and a foul against Allende. Just inside the attacking midfield, inside of that midfield stripe. High drama here in South Florida. And Inter Miami tackles it away, and into the left attacking half they come. Here's Alba looking for Allende in the middle channel, and he was shielded off the ball. That's a good defensive play by Laborda. Allende was still giving chase. And then a turnover, and Messi was absolutely tackled extremely hard as he tried to get on the end of a ball. It is a yellow shown to Kubas. Messi down on the ground. I'm trying to figure out what Drew Fisher is calling. Yeah, Kubas, I think, was awarded the yellow. It's going to be a free kick for Inter Miami. Boy, was that a physical foul as Messi got in front of Kubas on a chase for a loose ball with Vancouver sloppy in its own half. Inter Miami's going to have a free kick. Inter Miami 2, Vancouver Whitecaps 1, and we welcome you to the 74th minute in South Florida. I'm Ken Levicka, Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Perhaps the final MLS match ever played at this venue. Oscar Gonzalez, on-site engineer to my right. Back in the network studios in West Palm Beach, it's Mike Rizzo. Everybody on their feet in this venue. Rodrigo DePaul has just given Inter Miami the lead, and Inter Miami has a free kick from 30 yards just outside the right border of the box, far side. Lionel Messi adds on to his MLS Cup playoff record in goal contributions. He now has 14. 6 goals, 8 assists for a man who is assuredly going to be the back-to-back MVP in Major League Soccer. Messi, left foot, will handle the free kick from 35 yards, approaches, left foot, good pace into the middle, and Vancouver had to head it over the goal with Blackman. Inter Miami is going to have its first corner of the match, presented by Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, represented injured people and their families for more than 35 years. Visit foryourrights.com. It's going to be Messi, far side to near side, handling the corner. And I'll preface it as I have all MLS postseason. Messi has attempted 14 Olympicos in 2025, nothing to show for it. Gone for goal off a corner 14 times. What will he do here? Nobody around him. It won't be a short corner. Messi with his team up 2-1. Left foot in swinger near post, and that's handled well by Vancouver. Sent high into the air, far touchline. Good job on the head from Messi to keep Inter Miami in possession. And now it's Noah Allen, defensive midfield circle, and he is going to do the safe thing and send a well-paced grounder on Rocco Rios Novo, who's at the border at the top of the box. He'll right foot sweep one on to Noah Allen. And Allen, long ball, defensive half to attacking half. Silvetti trying to chase it down, and he's going to commit a foul. He got it to the backside of Pupa. The crowd doesn't like, but that's the correct call. Inter Miami finally has grown into this match a bit. Look at Messi. He nearly took it away from the goalkeeper. It's a turnover. Here's DePaul. DePaul outside the left box. Silvetti gathers in the lower left. Into the middle. Poked away by Vancouver. Oh, Silvetti wanted to try and find Allende, who was camped out. And now a fight for it. Inter Miami's going to win it back in the defensive half. Going to be escorted back on. Rocco Rios Novo off his line. He'll let it roll into his own box, top of the area. 76-47, 76-48, 76-49. Rios Novo scoops it up, backs his way towards the 6-yard box, and he's going to bowl it outside the left portion of his box, where Noah Allen sweeps the ball into the left attacking midfield. Silvetti had it poked away. Segovia has it for Inter Miami, and now Inter Miami with Silvetti in the left attacking half. Silvetti, and he made a poor pass, taken away by Vancouver. Berhalter, a sliding DePaul, able to wipe out that pass. Segovia onto DePaul. DePaul in the defensive midfield. He is swiped down by Gold. Rodrigo DePaul has taken over this match. Inter Miami will have possession in the defensive midfield. 77.5 minutes on the second half clock. 2-1. Inter Miami, thanks to Rodrigo DePaul on a feed from Lionel Messi. Yannick Bright is on for Inter Miami. So Yannick Bright will relieve Matteo Silvetti. Bright, who has had so many great moments this season, comes on in the biggest moment of his career. Vancouver own goal in the 8th minute. An equalizer for Vancouver in the 60th. And then Rodrigo DePaul in the 71st, giving Inter Miami the advantage. Vancouver in its own half. Berhalter working against Bright. And now Vancouver will work out of the back. If you're Yannick Bright, just ease your way into the match. Cannot have a nervy Yannick Bright. He's too big a foundation defensively. Inter Miami needs to have him. Vancouver meanders its way into the Inter Miami half. Near right touchline. And Sabi kept the ball in play along the touchline. Inter Miami was calling for a throw-in. Vancouver briefly into its own half. And now far side into the attacking midfield. Right side. Pupa, the far left touchline. Good ball, sweeping it. And a turnover. Inter Miami has it in its defensive half, and then giving it right back was Inter Miami. There was a handball. The referee didn't call it. Then Sergio Busquets able to pick up a steal, and then a foul called against Inter Miami as Berhalter hit the ground. Quick restart for Vancouver. Well done by Noah Allen to take care of that. Here's Rodrigo to Paul as he's brought to the ground. Right at the middle spot of his defensive half. Noah Allen has really been strong today. Luis Suarez starting to get loose for Inter Miami. We are just a few ticks away from the 80th minute. 2-1 Inter Miami. In the first round, Vancouver, Western Conference, it was a late goal by Priso, 90+3 to draw level with Dallas. Vancouver would go on to win 4-2 in penalties. Long ball off the free kick. Alba, good job into the left flank. Segovia fighting for the ball, and a light push on the back of Ocampo, and the foul is called. Vancouver takes over deep in its left defensive third. 80.5 minutes. Vancouver in their attacking midfield. Good short-range passing. Busquets giving chase, couldn't get onto the end of it, make that a Yende. Now Blackman in his own midfield circle, dispossessed initially by Bright, and now working into the Inter Miami half is Vancouver up the far side into the portion of the pitch, the only portion of the pitch with sunshine. Inter Miami's Maxi Falcone able to pick off a pass. Now here's Segovia, dangerous backwards pass near his own box. And Alba on the near side sends the ball skyward. And it is going to be off of Vancouver. No, it's off of Yannick Bright near touchline. No, it is an Inter Miami throw-in. Javier Mascherano telling his team, calm down, relax. Mascherano, who has been in his fair share of massive matches. Kenji Cabrera, the young Peruvian, enters for Vancouver. Another substitution for Jesper Sorensen, first-year manager of Vancouver. And I think it's Andre Kubas who is departing, and that is a fact. Cabrera, who has a goal in this postseason. Six goals, 2 assists with Melgar before transferring on to Vancouver. Throw in Inter Miami. Here is Yannick Bright. Near left touchline on the move. Trying to get to the end line. He tried to slide to keep it in play and could not, as Ocampo was throwing shoulder after shoulder after shoulder. 2-1 Inter Miami. We are into the 82nd minute. Ken Levicka with you in Fort Lauderdale at Chase Stadium. Vancouver defensive half on the far side. Going left to right with the attack. Sebastian Berhalter for Vancouver. Long ball, danger is right attacking third for Vancouver. Alba got a head on it, and unfortunately too hard, escorted across the end line. Vancouver set piece, near side to far side corner with an opportunity. Inter Miami 2, Vancouver 1. An out-swinging corner coming for Vancouver. The white-clad white caps in front of their supporter section. Sebastian Berhalter. Vancouver down 2-1. Left hand in the air. Berhalter delivers into the middle. Rios Novo with a punch away. And it goes over the head of a Vancouver attacker. Lionel Messi got a hand on it. 40 yards out. He doesn't protest, and it's going to be a restart for Vancouver. This will be a direct on Rocco Rios Novo. A free kick straight on. This is a good 38 to 40 yards away. Galt's going to try and put it in the mixer. He sent it short. Berhalter, he wants to whip something in. He sends it to the far post. It's headed in the air. Allende was able to get a head on it, and then A shot opportunity from Sabi of Vancouver, and he skied it into the seats over the goal. Top of the box. There are mass protests from Inter Miami and Drew Fisher. He's saying we are getting grabbed. We are getting pulled. Rodrigo DePaul is incensed. That's not rare when it comes to the referees. Rocco Rios Novo takes his time, places the ball on the right border of the 6-yard box. He's about to deliver it back into play. 84-19, 84-20, 84-21. Inter Miami 2, Vancouver 1. And a right-footed entry back into play for Rios Novo. Allende was able to win possession for Inter Miami. Now here's Alba. He's going to make it across the midfield stripe, and he's simply going to try and catch Takaoka off his line and blast the ball across the inline. That's not a good decision from Jordi Alba, giving Vancouver the possession back. Inter Miami substitutes no longer getting loose. They are along the sponsor boards. And a foul against Rodrigo DePaul in the midfield circle. He is shown a yellow as he made contact with Gauld. Now this has been everything as advertised on this Saturday. Many calling it the greatest MLS Cup final of all time. Inter Miami 2, Vancouver 1. 85-20 on the clock. Blackman for Vancouver, trying to get around Bright, who tackled it away. Now Segovia surges in the left attacking half. Segovia has Bright. And Bright trying to get along the near left end line. And a takedown. Segovia went to ground. We're going to have a yellow card that's shown to Vancouver. I don't know who exactly this is going to be on. After seeing the replay, now I do. That is Laborda, who was shown the yellow. Laborda from Uruguay, played at Nacional. 86th minute. 87th minute is approaching in 50 seconds or so. Segovia taking his time as he lays on his back. 2-1, Inter Miami with the lead on Vancouver. Inter Miami looking to finally break through with a trophy in 2025. Lost to this Vancouver side in the semifinal of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Fell in the Leagues Cup final in Seattle. And it is going to be a desperate couple of minutes with Inter Miami leading 2-1. After a stoppage in play, Segovia is up. Messi, Alba, DePaul, Busquets, such star power standing over the ball right now. 45 yards away, Messi sends a ball towards the penalty D, and that's handled pretty easily by Vancouver, but it is going to be a conceded throw-in for Inter Miami near left touchline as Laborda was pressured by Allende. 87 minutes. And Inter Miami is going to continue to take time off the clock here. Blackman had to be brought off for Vancouver. He had a bit of a knock. So briefly, a man advantage for Inter Miami. Up 2-1. Alba looking to throw it in. Finds Segovia into the middle. Falcone. He's just going to pop a ball deep into the left attacking third. And it's headed by Vancouver right on to Takaoka. And he'll dribble outside his box after placing the ball on the ground. Left to right attack for Vancouver. Vancouver in its own end. Backwards pass. Ocampo along the near right touchline. The midfield strike. And Jordi Alba's called for a foul. That was Gauld who went to ground. Drew Fisher says no card. And now Vancouver trying to come forward. 88-16, 88-17. And now here's Vancouver. And a good defensive play. Rodrigo DePaul. Phenomenal footwork. And now Frey blasted forward. Frey was knocked down. Rodrigo DePaul is wondering why Frey has wound it up. A clearance all the way to the other end. DePaul wanted to keep possession. We are past 88 and a half minutes. Here in Fort Lauderdale. 2-1 Inter Miami. Vancouver on the move, far left touchline. Now straight on Berhalter. in front of the midfield circle. Now Sabi. Sabi onto his right foot. Had to deliver it back 30 yards away. Berhalter to Blackman straight on. He assesses his options. Blackman for Vancouver. Berhalter, left flank. Outside left channel. Near in the top border of the box extended. Here's a delivery into the box, and that's wiped out by Alban. One hop, and all the way back to the midfield goes Pupa of Vancouver. 89-20 on the clock. And another defensive play by Ian Frey as he pokes it across the far touchline. Frey goes down, and we're going to have a substitution for Inter Miami. It'll be Marcelo Wacott who comes on. 89-38, 89-39, 2-1, Inter Miami. And here comes the substitution. Wow, and it's Rodrigo to Paul, who's going to retreat for Inter Miami. No, never mind. They put a 7 up initially. I couldn't understand that. It's Ian Frey, and that's why Ian Frey went to the ground. So we change it right back. Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. I am Ken LaVicka. The Inter Miami flagship, ESPN 106.3 out of West Palm Beach, ESPN South Florida app. You are listening. You're listening on Apple TV, on MLS Season Pass. And you are streaming worldwide on YouTube. Lionel Messi trying to claim the 47th trophy in his illustrious career. 7 minutes of added time. 7 minutes of added time. Put on your seatbelts. We are a minute into the 7 minutes. Thrown into the box for Vancouver. And it's swiped away by Segovia. And now there's a chase for it. On the run, Lionel Messi. And he has it! In the left attacking half. Far right touchline. Messi surveys. Messi holds up play wisely. Delivers it back to DePaul. DePaul on to Messi along the touchline. Berhalter challenges. Messi still has it. Messi comes out of a group with it. Right of the box. Messi. None makes a man. Messi in the box. It's loose outside the top of the area. Busquets. Oh, he tried to play through Messi, and it's won by Vancouver. And then it's going to be delivered all the way into the Inter Miami half. It goes across the touchline. Throw in Vancouver. Inter Miami racing back defensively. It is out of action time here in Fort Lauderdale. 91-42, 91-43. Inter Miami needs to see this through another 5+ minutes. Long ball, Vancouver. It's sent into the middle where Busquets will swipe it away. Back into the Vancouver half. And then Lionel Messi is cut off from the ball. And a foul is called against Messi as he was trying to battle Pupa. The race was on back there. We have crossed the threshold of the 92nd minute. Man, is it nervy here in South Florida. And it'll be a goal kick for Inter Miami after a square ball was delivered out of play by Vancouver along the far left touchline. Inter Miami fans roar in unison. 92-36, 92-37, 92-38. Pink towels waving throughout the venue. But there's still a lot of time to see through. We're in the midst of 7 additional minutes. 92-51, 92-52. Still at least 4 minutes to try and bleed out as Rios Novo sends a goal kick into the midfield. Allende overran it, and Vancouver's back on the end of it. Far touchline just into the attacking half. Here's Blackman for Vancouver. Now Mueller. Mueller 35 yards away. Midfield circle now Blackman. Left to right in the attack is Vancouver. Pupa. Off the mark with Blackman. Mueller has to come to the midfield stripe and retrieve. Mueller looking for help and found it in the form of Gold. Now a square ball to the far side, and that's headed by Inter Miami. That was Marcelo Wacott, and then a foul against Vancouver along the far touchline. That's Berhalter. Jordi Alba telling everybody stand up as Allende went to ground. What a postseason he has had. 3 minutes left to go in Fort Lauderdale as we get into the 94th minute. A collection of Inter Miami and Vancouver players along the touchline, along with the referee, Drew Fisher. Can Inter Miami hang on? Can Inter Miami win the MLS Cup? Can Inter Miami claim a trophy? The second in club history. We're past 94 and a half minutes. And Inter Miami restarts in the Vancouver half. Far right touchline, a ball into the middle. Chested down by Messi. Short range pass Busquets. Picks out Bright and into space. Near left touchline, Alba. Chips it on to Segovia. Segovia back to goal. Segovia dispossessed by Ocampo. But Segovia won it right back. Segovia turns, and a good ball onto Bright. Bright's going to retreat into the Inter Miami defensive half, right side of the pitch. Noah Allen off to Rocco Rios Novo and puts a right foot high into the air. 2 minutes to kill off. Here's Busquets for Inter Miami. Segovia touches it back to Alba. Alba sweeps the ball into the attacking half for Inter Miami. Chested by Messi. Oh, what a beautiful ball, Allende! Into the box. Allende! He scores from the top of the box. Sliding it by Takaoka. Inter Miami is going to win the MLS Cup on Tadeo Allende's record-setting 9th goal of the MLS Cup playoff. It is chaos in South Florida. It is a championship celebration kicking off in South Florida. Inter Miami fans, your club has won the Major League Soccer Championship. Incredible! And how could it not end on a Lionel Messi goal contribution? An Allende goal. Jordi Alba in tears. Jordi Alba is weeping on the pitch as he is going to end his illustrious, legendary career with a trophy. Jordi Alba wiping tears from his eyes. Sergio Busquets, his hands on his knees, taking it all in. Rodrigo de Paul celebrating. Lionel Messi turning, looking at this capacity crowd, thrusting his arms into the air. We have mere seconds left to go in this match. Vancouver into the attacking half. Maxi Falcone will escort a ball out of play. It'll be a goal kick, Inter Miami. We are at 97 minutes of 7 additional. Rodrigo de Paul pleading for the whistle. Drew Fisher looks at his watch. Rocco Rios Novo strolls to the ball. He's in no hurry. We will have the trophy presentation for you on the Inter Miami Radio Network. What a scene in Fort Lauderdale. Rocco Rios Novo takes a yellow for time wasting. He does not care. 97 and a half minutes. Rios Novo sets the ball. This might be it. 3-1 Inter Miami. Rios Novo puts his foot into it. It's headed to the midfield. It's headed backwards and out of play. Vancouver with the throw-in. Tantalizingly close, Inter Miami from winning the title. Coming forward, Vancouver. Defensive midfield. Long ball into the right box. Alba got a left foot on it. And now Segovia punches it onto Busquets in Inter Miami's own half. In space, Messi. Messi is brought to the ground, just shy of the midfield stripe. 3-1. Inter Miami on top. Inter Miami going to place the ball, going to kick it away. Messi will walk over the ball just inside the midfield stripe. Defensive half for Inter Miami. Everybody stands here at Shea Stadium, awaiting Drew Fisher's final whistle. Busquets sends it into the air. There is the final whistle. Inter Miami's great project has borne fruit. Inter Miami, so much discourse surrounding the organization. Here's a statement from South Florida. Inter Miami, champions of Major League Soccer in 2025. Inter Miami 3, Vancouver Whitecaps 1. Your final scoreline on the final day of this season. Inter Miami will claim its second trophy in the history of the franchise. The final ever match for Jordi Alba, the final ever match for Sergio Busquets, and Lionel Messi validates every single decision that he and Inter Miami have made over the last 3 years, and it culminates in an MLS Cup championship in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami finally slays the Vancouver Dragon. Dominated both matches in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Inter Miami was stagnant for a good 45 to near 50 minutes in this match. But Inter Miami found its footing. Rodrigo de Paul put Inter Miami on top. In the 71st minute, Tadeo Allende slams the door in the 90+7, and Inter Miami, MLS Cup champions with a 3-1 triumph over Vancouver. We will start the postgame after this from Chase Stadium as the staging is set up and Inter Miami bounces and celebrates in the midfield circle. They are about to put silverware in the air. This is Inter Miami football.
Inter Miami, what a season! Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team, today and always.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Colin, have you checked out Vitacost Sport Certified Marketplace?
Vitacost? I love Vitacost!
Right? It's a full online sports marketplace. Over 500 performance products from trusted brands like Vega, Thorne, Vital Proteins, and Muscle Milk, all free from banned substances.
So no guessing, no label scrubbing, just clean fuel to train harder and recover smarter.
You got it. And don't forget, save 20% with code ESPN20 at sportcertified.com.
Fuel clean, train smarter. Try Sports Certified by Vitacost today.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
Snowbirds, welcome back. Time to trade your coats and hats for swim trunks and sunscreen. And get your home ready for company. Before the family arrives, make sure your home's water is in top shape. Hard water and hidden minerals can leave spots on dishes, dull your laundry, and dry out your skin. Not exactly festive. Schedule your free water test today before the holiday rush. Culligan will make sure your water is as clear and welcoming as that ocean view. Visit Culligan.com or just say,
Hey, Culligan!
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter Miami postgame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Here's Messi. Messi plays through. DePaul into the box. DePaul, goal! From the right of the box. Messi the assist. DePaul the finish. He got it by Takaoka. Inter Miami on the counter. Inter Miami leads again. It's 2-1. 70th minute. The two Argentines give Inter Miami 2. And Inter Miami answers back. The Vancouver equalizer. It is pandemonium in South Florida.
The party is on in South Florida. Mike Rizzo and Ken LaVicka here on site. Actually, Ken LaVicka on site. Mike Rizzo, myself back in the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. What a time it is to be an Inter Miami fan. The first ever MLS Cup in franchise history. Inter Miami winning 3-1. Rodrigo DePaul with a goal in the 71st minute, and Tadio Allende, 90-plus extra time, breaks the MLS record as far as a single player in the amount of goals scored in an MLS Cup run. 9 goals for Tadio Allende. He came into the day with 8, and he passes Carlos Ruiz back in 2002 with 9 total goals. We're bringing on in Ken LaVicka again. Once again, he is live. Fort Lauderdale just had the call in South Florida. Just saw that Tadio Allende goal. And Ken, I mean, obviously you got Lionel Messi with the brilliance he had in his 6 goals in 6 matchups, the plethora of assists. But I have a feeling that Inter Miami fan is really going to remember Tadio Allende.
What an unbelievable run. And Mike, how many times did we discuss Allende this season? Inconsistent, heavy touches, unable to finish with opportunities that someone of his caliber should be able to finish, especially with the role that he was tasked to play for Javier Mascherano and company. But if you're going to do it, you might as well do it in the postseason. One of the more unlikely record setters in Major League Soccer history, but to do it also 90+7, mere moments from the death in a match where Inter Miami is looking to slam the door shut and do it in that fashion. I mean, it's just storybook stuff, and I understand that throughout Major League Soccer, there was a lot of dislike for Inter Miami. They're the star power. They get all the attention. Well, I tell you what, this is an unbelievably deserved title because Inter Miami in the final 2 months of this season were far and away the better team. I mean, listen to this. And Allende was a big part of this with his 9 goals, Mike. But Inter Miami in the postseason, 20 goals for, 5 against, plus 15. That is prolific, and it may never be matched again.
And Ken, let's listen to number 20, your call for Tadio Allende's final goal of the MLS season, really. And the goal that broke his record and helped shatter that record for team goals that Ken was talking about. Tadio Allende, 90-plus extra time, solidifying the MLS Cup here in South Florida.
Ryan White to the left of the box, and he scores.
How about that?
The tease.
Yeah. There you go, Ken. How about that one? Yeah. I mean, geez, could I tee it up any worse than that? But while I find that, Ken, I mean, certainly Inter Miami, you mentioned a couple of times, people around the MLS probably didn't want to see this. We heard all the hoopla about this Inter Miami team and everything surrounding them. What do you make of the resilience of this group, able to put all of that behind them, and in a year where they're losing 2 of the best players to ever do it, in Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets?
It is, I mean, you would think it's unlikely because you come off of the greatest team in MLS history over the course of 34 matches, only to put forth a dud in the postseason, suffer the most shocking upset that Major League Soccer has ever seen. And if Inter Miami would have come flying out of the gates this year and would have had a dominant early part of the season into June, into July, then you start thinking to yourself, yeah, that's more like it, but man, was this a battle. Man, was this a struggle. It just seemed like the road to 19-7-8 in the regular season was so rocky and so full of obstacles, but I think it also shows you, and we keep saying this because this is such a historic Inter-Miami group, no team in the history of the league has played more matches, all competitions in a calendar year than Inter-Miami did in 2025, and I do think that matters. And yes, the consensus, I think, through many talking heads would be, oh, but the heavy legs, oh, at the age of the group, they're certainly not young. But I think that had allowed this team to help insert the likes of Matteo Silvetti and incorporate Baltasar Rodriguez and really give them an opportunity to meld in the final few months of the season as opposed to just throwing them in desperate moments. There was a lot of lead-up time, and there wasn't a lot of panic, and that's a credit to Javier Mascherano. It's a credit to Lionel Messi. And, oh, yeah, I forgot about Rodrigo de Paul of those additions as well. It has to be so satisfying, though. You lose in emphatic fashion in the CONCACAF Champions Cup to Vancouver. You go to the FIFA Club World Cup and you put together a historic MLS performance, but you leave after being embarrassed by Paris Saint-Germain. And then you lose in the final where an ugly incident mars everything at the conclusion of it in Seattle. And then you win the MLS Cup and you do so in the most dominant form we've ever seen. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff right there.
And Ken, you mentioned CONCACAF Champions Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, Leagues Cup. No silverware, but it all led up to this moment minutes ago in South Florida.
Alba sweeps the ball into the attacking half for Inter Miami. Chested by Messi. Oh, what a beautiful ball. Allende into the box. Allende! He scores from the top of the box. Sliding it by Takaoka. Inter Miami is going to win the MLS Cup on Tadeo Allende's record-setting 9th goal of the MLS Cup playoff. It is chaos in South Florida. It is a championship celebration kicking off in South Florida. Inter Miami fans, your club has won the Major League Soccer Championship. Incredible!
It was a lot better that time, Ken Levica, instead of the goal by Vancouver that made things interesting and made us sweat for a little bit. But once again, final score 3-1, Inter Miami winning the MLS Cup for the first time in program history. Ken, let me ask you this, partner. You were there for every step of the way with me on the Inter Miami radio network. What do you think was the turning point for this Inter Miami team? Because we mentioned the kind of bounce out of the Champions Cup, the disaster in Seattle with the fights and the spitting. And what was the turning point in your eyes for Inter Miami to win this MLS Cup?
That's a really good question, and I was actually thinking about that earlier today. And I want to say it was the 4-0 win at Citi Field. And yes, Inter Miami would come back, and with a chance to get into the Supporters' Shield, they drew 1-1 in Toronto, and then they lost to Chicago. But that right there showed we can dominate. That was a team that they had issues with. And Mike, we are about moments away from the trophy presentation. They are putting medals on the referee crew. You heard me. I don't know if that's necessarily the end game that they deserve, but all things considered, Drew Fisher and his crew come forward. We are going to carry this MLS Cup trophy presentation. Inter Miami is about to head across and get their medals. But yeah, that 4-0 triumph over New York City, that was the first time, I think, Mike, late in the year, pivotal part of the year, home stretch of the year, where they saw for the first time, because don't forget, that was Silvetti and Rodriguez, and the first time we really saw them contribute in a big way. Rodrigo de Paul was able to win a penalty that was converted by Luis Suarez. If I were to pick one moment, it's that win at Citi Field.
For me, Ken, honest to God, it's not a specific moment. I think it was the birth of Baltasar Rodriguez and Matteo Silvetti, because I think they added something different. They added something different to the 11. I mean, remember the last time we saw Inter Miami play Vancouver, the first two fixtures in the Champions Cup? You simply got ran off the pitch. Now, listen, Rodrigo de Paul getting into the fold and helping out in the midfield. I mean, you saw with his goal today, but I also feel like his enforcer mentality, Ken, really took things to the next level to beat Western Conference teams like Vancouver, a young Western Conference team like Vancouver with the likes of Berhalter, Ahmad, Sabi, and company that you've mentioned numerous times throughout the broadcast who like the run and who like to get out to the races.
Yeah, this is just such a more athletic side because of Silvetti and Rodriguez and DePaul than what Vancouver faced in the two matches, first and second leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And you and I were discussing this off air before the broadcast started, that was going to be pivotal. Vancouver should have had, and I don't want to dampen the celebration, Inter Miami should have conceded 4 times from the 20-minute mark on,
right,
before Inter Miami started finding its footing. But sometimes fortunate breaks happen, and Subby puts a ball off both posts on a shot that would have given Vancouver a 2-1 lead in short order, back-to-back goals. Inter Miami, right after that time, what happened? They finally leveled themselves, and in the winning moment, with all of these champions, the final 25 minutes was all Inter Miami. All Inter Miami, extinguishing everything that Vancouver tried to put out there. And I want to give special attention as well to the much-maligned back line. They were considered the Achilles heel. They definitely were the Achilles heel in the first round last year of the MLS Cup playoffs. But Maxi Falcone made himself extremely attractive to a lot of clubs on the planet over the last month and a half. He was lights out, and that should absolutely be commended and noticed and discussed, because Maxi Falcone, you can argue, yes, you have the Allende goals and Messi's greatness and Jordi Alba phenomenal, but Maxi Falcone was as important as anybody on the pitch during this playoff run. He was lights out.
And Ken, even Noah Allen, an academy kid, yes, someone who earned a new contract within the season. I mean, they re-signed Noah Allen within the season, and I think the birth of Ian Frey, and obviously the world-class player that is Jordi Alba, and I think an unsung hero throughout the final, I mean, Kenny, the final 15% of the season, Rocco Rios Novo, who earned the job from the OG Oscar Ustadi, and really was a big reason why they were able to be in the game, or rather take that lead into halftime with the saves he made in the first half, Ken, in the final we just saw.
Well, the save on Sabi at about 25 minutes, point blank, I mean, that's as good as it gets. And then Mueller tests Rios Novo with a header that was headed into the back of the net just under the crossbar. And not only does Rios Novo not panic, he makes the catch, and then falling across his goal line, he keeps the ball outside the goal line in the field of play. He played like a veteran. He played like a top-class Major League Soccer goalkeeper. And for him to be tasked and trusted, 24 years old, taking over for a 39-year-old veteran, a close friend of Lionel Messi. They have come up through the ranks, youth system, into pros. And Rocco Rios Novo took the torch and listened to Oscar Ustari and learned from Oscar Ustari. I mean, it is just sensational. And you're right, a total overlook on my part, because Rocco Rios Novo was as important as any single pink-clad Inter Miami player on this Saturday afternoon into early evening here in South Florida. He was stellar, and he almost saved the Vancouver goal. He should have had a save on the Vancouver goal. He pushed it into the post, but then it rolled across the goal line. He was so good. And for him, I mean, look at this number. He faced 29 shots in the MLS Cup playoff.
Wow.
And he made 22 saves in the MLS Cup playoffs. Think about that. The 23 saves on target was 28 of the goals. I mean, that makes you a lot of money in this sport if you're a goalkeeper.
And he's young, Ken. He's still got a long way to go. I mean, if you rewind 2 years ago, he was the Olympic goalkeeper for Argentina when Coach Mascherano was the gaffer for the under-20 team. So
Correct.
This is certainly a team in Inter Miami that has a mixture of a bunch of veterans and young players. The young players like Rios Novo, Rodriguez, and Silvetti. And Ken,
Mike, let's actually head downstairs for the Inter Miami Trophy presentation.
Absolutely.
And singer, songwriter, and actor Mark Anthony, joined by President of Audi of America, Daniel Weiss, as they bring the Philip F. Anschutz MLS Cup Trophy to the stage.
legendary Latin artist bringing the MLS Cup trophy onto the stage that sits at midfield here at Chase Stadium. They placed the MLS Cup trophy on the Aqua podium that is in front of the main stage. We are at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm Ken LaVicka. In the early dusk hours in South Florida, just after 5 o'clock Eastern time in this part of the world, Inter Miami has won the 2025 MLS Cup with a triumph over Vancouver.
Also joining them on stage are Canada Soccer President Peter El Grosso, CONCACAF President Victor Montagliani, and U.S. Soccer President Cindy Parlow-Cone.
Lionel Messi will be the man who heads to the smaller podium to grab the trophy. He'll put it up in the air, and then he'll bring it to the main stage, where the entire team will celebrate and confetti will fly. The team is walking up the steps as the crowd roars here in Fort Lauderdale. Sergio Busquets, followed by Jordi Alba, the two retiring legends. Baltasar Rodriguez, Talasco Segovia, Tadeo Allende, Luis Suarez. Such a good soldier, accepting his role or lack thereof in the MLS Cup playoff. He is as deserved as anybody for the ascension of Inter Miami as an organization. 20 goals a year ago in that legendary season for Inter Miami. Rocco Rios Novo, the young 24-year-old goalkeeper, up next to receive his medal, followed by Matteo Silvetti at 19. Two players in this youth movement for Inter Miami. Tomas Aviles saw a lot of action early in the year. Santi Morales, who had an assist to Lionel Messi against Cavalier in the second leg CONCACAF Champions Cup in the quarterfinal. Alan Abando, another youngster, suffered from many injuries this season. Ian Frey receiving his medal as well. Yannick Bright just signed an extension about a month and a half ago. He remains at Inter Miami, medal around his neck. The Inter Miami side bouncing up and down on the right side of this stage as Lionel Messi lingers on the podium in front of the main stage, awaiting a chance to grab the trophy. William Yarborough brought in the early quarter of this season as a third goalkeeper, the former Liga MX man. Maxi Falcone, defensive hero for Inter Miami in the MLS Cup playoff. And then Marcelo Wagon, who came in with the injury to Ian Frey leading into the conference semifinal and was superb at Cincinnati. And then Rodrigo de Paul with an Argentina flag wrapped around his waist. The final Inter Miami player to grab his championship medal is Vancouver Whitecaps players look on from beyond a temporary barrier that has been erected on the south end of the stadium. Inter Miami gathers as a team. Falcone, Rios Novo, Alba, Allen. They all sit along with Marcelo Wagon at the front of the stage.
For our trophy ceremony.
Thank you, and thank you to Audi for their incredible support and great partnership since 2015. First and foremost, Inter Miami fans, we would like to welcome your captain, Lionel Messi, to the stage. I'm also here with MLS Commissioner Don Garber, who will be presenting the 2025 Philip F. Anschutz MLS Cup Trophy to today's champion, your Inter Miami.
What a game, what a match, what a way to cap off our 30th season. They said soccer would never make it in America. Inter Miami fans, has soccer made it? I want to give a shout out to Vancouver, their fans, their players, their ownership. They've done everything to deserve being here tonight. Tonight is about the Herons. Second trophy in their 6th season. Jorge, David, and Jose, you came into this league saying that you would build a team that would fulfill the dreams of millions of people across our country and across the globe, and you did that. For soccer fans across America and Canada, thank you for everything you've done. Leo, it's been an honor that none of us can truly even understand to have you in our league. The thrills, the commitment, the passion, your love of being here in Miami, and your love of your teammates. It's my honor to present the Philip Anschutz Trophy to Jorge David and Jose, who will give it to Leo, who will present it to the team. Congratulations.
Lionel Messi, after Commissioner Don Garber presented the trophy, the Moss brothers, David Beckham, handed to Lionel Messi, and here he comes up the main stage stairs, back right portion of the structure. His teammates await. What a scene in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami with confetti flying and fireworks being shot off from all corners of the stadium. Pink smoke abound. Inter Miami and Lionel Messi have answered all the doubters. Those who have rooted against them, those who are unhappy and feel ill will to the star power of Inter Miami. Those who doubted the experiment, as Lionel Messi has called it, the Inter Miami project. None of that matters any longer. It is undeniable. Inter Miami, the kings of Major League Soccer. Inter Miami in 2023, 14th out of 15 in the Eastern Conference. And in 2 years' time, Inter Miami, after winning the Supporters Shield, best regular season side in Major League Soccer history in 2024, win the ultimate prize. Inter Miami has claimed the Major League Soccer Cup, MLS Cup champions in 2025. Lionel Messi will win a back-to-back MVP. That is indisputable. He finished the regular season with 29 goals and 19 assists. Absolutely prodigious. Absolutely absurd. It doesn't make any sense, to be quite honest. He finishes with 54 goals, or make that 54, trying to do the math here. 30, 19, 50, 48. He finishes with the largest goal contribution mark in the history of the sport in America. 63 goal contributions in 2025. 63 goal contributions in 2025. I mean, I don't know how that ever is topped. And he's 38 years old as well. That's what's even more incredible about the feat. Even more incredible about the man. And it's why he is the greatest champion in the history of football. It is why he's the greatest player of all time. He also, if you want to focus on Lionel Messi, exercised the Thomas Müller demon as well. Müller came in 7-3 all time against Lionel Messi. That includes Champions League and, of course, the 2014 World Cup final. And in 2025 in the MLS Cup final, Messi bests Müller. Inter Miami beats Vancouver 3-1 at Shea Stadium. The final match for Jordi Alba. The final match for Sergio Busquets. Those champions, those world champions, those European champions, those La Liga champions will go off into the sunset with a piece of silverware glistening in that sun as they walk away from football onto their post-career lives. Inter Miami 3, Vancouver Whitecaps 1. That's the final score line from Shea Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Want to thank everybody for listening all season long on the Inter Miami flagship, ESPN 106.3 out of West Palm Beach, the ESPN South Florida app. All of you who listen on Sirius XM channel 157, as well as Home Team Radio on Apple TV Plus Season Pass. And of course, everybody who listened all season long. Record numbers. Could not do it without you, whether it is in the United States, whether it was in Spain, Argentina, Norway, China, Japan, wherever you may be from all corners of the globe. We thank you for listening live on YouTube on the Inter Miami Radio Network. Lionel Messi, champion. Rodrigo de Paul, champion. Jordi Alba, champion. Sergio Busquets, champion. Inter Miami, champions. For the OG, Oscar Gonzalez, on-site engineer, and Mike Rizzo back in the network studios in West Palm Beach. I'm Ken LaVicka. Your final scoreline for a final time from Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Inter Miami 3, Vancouver Whitecaps 1. Inter Miami has claimed the 2025 MLS Cup Championship. Mike Rizzo has your celebratory postgame after this. This is Inter Miami football.
Inter Miami, what a season! Inter Miami gave us unforgettable moments, unwavering heart, and the kind of passion that unites an entire city. As the official sports medicine provider of Inter Miami CF, Baptist Health has been proud to stand with this team every step, every match, every challenge. And through it all, you, the fans, made the season extraordinary. So thank you, Inter Miami, for the energy, for the belief, for an incredible season we'll never forget. Baptist Health, proud to be on your team, today and always.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Download the ESPN South Florida app today and get the latest on local shows like Theoretically Speaking and Russo and Rizzo. Get some ESPN podcasts or get the high school sports updates in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. Curious about what Mike Rizzo had to say about Aaron Rodgers? It's on the app. Wasn't able to find the score of the West Boca high school football game? It's on the app. Want to catch the Inter Miami live broadcast? You guessed it. It's on the app. Go download the ESPN South Florida app today and get your fix on all things sports right here in Palm Beach County.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. This is the Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The Audi A5.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
A bicycle kick is a risky move, and risky can be exciting for soccer, but not for your money. PNC Bank believes boring is better. It's the smart and steady way to manage your finances and save the excitement for all you want to do in life. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud to sponsor Inter-Miami CF radio broadcasts. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985 and proud supporter of Inter-Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter-Miami postgame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
One final time, our final score in the MLS Cup final. Our Inter-Miami Herons securing victory 3-1. It is the first time Inter-Miami has won the MLS Cup in the history of the program. A 6-year-old franchise already winning the MLS Cup. Truly unbelievable. I want to thank everybody involved, the great people over at Inter-Miami, the great people here at ESPN 106.3 for letting me be a part of such an amazing journey. Let's celebrate one more time with the highlights, folks. I got all goal-scoring plays, including the goals. Let's listen to the own goal that started it all. Ocampo with an oopsie.
Today, here he comes, upper right of the box. Allende tried to send it to the middle. It's an own goal. It's an own goal for Vancouver. They knock it in to their own net as Allende tried to feed the middle. Ralph Priso put it into his own goal. 7 minutes in, Inter-Miami, the opening salvo in the MLS Cup final.
So 1-0 at that juncture in the game. That came very early too, folks. That was the 8th minute. The own goal happening. The next highlight is actually in the second half. The 60th minute, Vancouver found a way to make things 1-1. Obviously, that didn't last long, but here's Vancouver with the equalizer.
Ryan White to the left of the box, and he scores. It's a goal for Vancouver. The buildup was there. It was only a matter of time. And Vancouver has drawn this match level in the 59th minute.
Like I said, that wouldn't last long because the 71st minute, in my opinion, the most important signing Inter-Miami made in the second half of the season was this man, Rodrigo De Paul. What a time for Rodrigo to have his first MLS goal in a pink shirt.
Steal. Here's Messi. Messi plays through. De Paul into the box. De Paul, goal! From the right of the box.
And then finally, our final highlight on your final post-game show of 2025, it's Tadio Allende making history.
Alba sweeps the ball into the attacking half for Inter Miami. Chested by Messi. Oh, what a beautiful ball. Allende into the box. Allende! He scores from the top of the box. Sliding by Takaoka. Inter Miami is going to win the MLS Cup on Tadio Allende's record-setting 9th goal of the MLS Cup playoff. It is chaos in South Florida. It is a championship celebration kicking off in South Florida. Inter Miami fans, your club has won the Major League Soccer Championship. Incredible!
Tadio Allende scored his 9th goal in this MLS Playoff Cup run for Inter Miami. That is the most in MLS Cup playoffs history. His 9 goals in a single run is the most in a single season. Congratulations to Tadio Allende for being immortalized in MLS history. Inter Miami as a team, obviously immortalized as being the 2025 MLS Cup winner, but their 20 goals. Inter Miami scored 20 goals throughout this MLS Cup playoff run, and that sets the record for the most goals scored within an MLS playoff cup run. So Allende making history as well as our Inter Miami Herons. Folks, that's going to do it. Our final score, 3-1, Inter Miami. Champions, champions, champions. Our Herons had a 4th place finish in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They made it to the knockout stage of the FIFA Club World Cup. They made it they made it to the championship game and were the runner-up in Leagues Cup, but the most important trophy on the schedule, the MLS Cup, is in South Florida with our Inter Miami Herons. A magical season for Lionel Messi and our Herons. We'll catch up with you guys in 2026. Looking forward to talking to all of you coming up in the 2026 season. Final score, 3-1. Inter Miami victors on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
We now return to our regularly scheduled programming already in progress on ESPN 106.3.